Another world, another time, in the age of innocence. Making sure my microphone is on. Okay. The All Maudra is dead, and her husk lays on a bier in the circle of the suns, that famed Dusan temple. But this Maudra left no daughter seeds to continue the family tree, so that cycle of power has ended. And new trees from the wood, cave, and swamp all have a chance to plant their own dynasty if they can prove themselves. In this time, there are no formalized Gelfling clans or widespread system of government. Similarly skilled and cultured Gelfling tend to live in the same areas. But there are more Gelfling in the Crystal Desert than just the Dusan, more on the plains than just the Sprighton, and so forth. Families change, merge, and conflict with each other as time passes, as they have always done. There are many songs of kindness and justice, but just as many of tyranny and wickedness. Thra is a world in balance, but balance is not static. If one wants peace and calm on Thra, even within oneself, one must be willing to work for it. The world is beautiful, but always in flux, and not always safe. Meanwhile, a Maudra could just as easily be a village midwife and healer as a leader within her village. Algra, that was a very awkward sentence. We'll fix that later. So, the All Maudra is not a governor, but a spiritual leader. Counselor, adjudicator. And that requires a test of spiritual mettle, commonly known as the Heart Quest. And today, Thra itself is giddy with the oncoming change in the song, down to the smallest crawlies, making this quest all the more difficult this trine. So, what Gelfling is undertaking the quest this time, and what allies is she taking with her? And that is done. What are you doing? Bad OBS. Bad. Mother Algra says bad. There we go. See, I remember the desktop audio this time. Fantastic. Alright, so now it is time to introduce today's cast. Let's start with Vevra, our potential All Maudra, if she can complete the quest.
My name is Vevra. I am the proud daughter of the Maudra of the Drenchen. I will prove that one does not need to fly through the air in order to be a true Gelfling. One can fly through the water just as well.
Yes, the Drenchen, or the Gelfling of the swamps, known as as Great Sog, and it's Age of Innocence, so it's like medium-sized Smurth. Smurth is there, it's just Junior Smurth.
Ditto.
Teenage tree. Fits like 5 families in it. It's very nice. Yes, and Gelfling of the Swamp are still renowned for their healing magics. Even now.
It's true.
Right. Next, Miston. Another Gelfling.
I am. I'm Mist. I'm an ambassador of my group of the Groden clan. And I'm charming and helpful, and a friend to animals. I'm not at all sneaky at all.
Of course not, Mist. Of course not. Cavelings. Nothing wrong with being a caveling. Or a proto-Groton, because, well, that hasn't happened yet. It's the Age of Innocence, and 2,000 years. No Grotons yet. But Gelflings still live in caves. Caves are quite nice. Next, Riv. We have a Gruenack.
is the Gruenack. Gruenack live often in mines and in caves where there are strong stone. But Riv has learned Swamp is strong too, and Vevra is strong too.
Apparently, in an excellent setup, we've managed to set up the players to be very quiet. I like that a lot, but possibly other people won't.
Alright, let me see if I can increase desktop audio without blowing out Audra's eardrums. Alright. Next, we have Podling Plip.
Apada Plip. I am a river podling. My village is on the river, and Plip likes to play in the river. I bring back river roots and stuff that I find in the river to the village. Some people don't appreciate what I bring back, but I bring it back anyway.
Better. Yes, thank you, chatlings. Yes, so, we have a few moments, I think. Yes, I'm keeping a watch this time. Vevra, when did you realize or decide that you were to be the next All Maudra?
Well, my mother has been training me to take up the reins of power in some sort of way since I was born. She's been the Maudra of our village for as long as anyone can remember, and her mother before her, and her mother before her. So I thought that my path was to become Maudra of my home, but with the unfortunate passing of the All Maudra, perhaps instead it is Thra telling me that my job is to come forward for all Gelfling.
Yes, it is certainly... Thra itself is certainly giving some confusing mixed messages right now. But we will get to that in a little bit. Mist, you are a caveling.
I am.
What brought you from your caveling village underground so far into the Great Sog?
Well, I thought that and my mother thought that we needed more communication with the other groups, and who best than one of her daughters to spread the word and learn about the rest of the world and help them learn about us.
Yes, there are many Maudren, which are the families of Maudras in Gelfling society, often travel as part of their training to learn what else is out in Thra. Because it's not like there's any kind of, overarching government imperialist presence telling all the Gelfling to hate each other. Pfft, why would that happen?
That would be a terrible idea.
What kind of fantasy story is that? But yes, travel is part of Gelfling life. If you're a Gelfling who would rather travel than farm or fish, there is place for you in society.
And after all, the cablings are all about collecting knowledge and storing it so that we know what happened before.
Mm-hmm. And, and similar question for Riv. What brought you from your Gruenack village to live among Gelfling?
Well, Riv knows some of the cavelings because cavelings and Gruenack, we live together sometimes. We share knowledge, and Miston said, let us share more knowledge with Drenchen. So Riv came with Miston and has learned much from Drenchen.
Yes, what do you like to build as a Gruenack?
I like working in stone. Stone is good. Stone is strong. I have learned wood is also strong, and water, you cannot build in water the same way, but water shapes. And as Pip is pointing out, air makes music, air makes talking. Without air, we would not be able to talk.
Yes, yes. Gruenacks are very important to life on Thra. They are the technological innovators, and the metalsmiths are the first to do blacksmithing. So farming tools, religious items, sometimes Gruenacks have their own magic. Not just Gelfling. But speaking of other races with their own magic, Plip, how does a podling end up living in a swamp, rather than the fields and forests that are maybe more typical to podlings?
Volume. Flip is, Flip and Pod Village come and uh, fields are good when they flood. After they flood. When they finish flood, it's good field. So village come, good field. Sometimes flood, sometimes not flood. When not flood, grow food. When flood is swamp. Flip happened to like flood more than food, so Flip follow water.
I couldn't understand that. I mean, I could.
Mist, stop, don't cause trouble, Mist. Shame. Shame on Gelfling. Shush.
Only bad Gelfling. Just Gelfling, I'm good. Like,
I'm not a bad Gelfling. I'm a nice Gelfling.
Nabrushu.
I'm maligned.
Speaking of good and bad Gelfling, just a note to chatlings. This game is not canon. It is very much based on the movie and the TV series, and this book is going to be backwards because I'm the one hosting the Zoom, but there you go. Woohoo, it is a very good book. In the days when Algra was green, deal with it. So this is not canon. We are not trying to be canon. This is a fun romp in a fantasy world for Algra's birthday. We are not even using the official Dark Crystal tabletop gamebook because it's not out yet. Instead,
Why would we want cannon? Cannon goes boom.
I mean, some Gruenacks like that. Some Gruenacks live in volcanoes. Different people's different, and so we are using Faithcore, which is our go-to for really any one-shot game these days. So for that reason, chat, you can buy boosts for our players. But tonight, not with channel points, but with donations to charity, and if you type in the charity command into chat, you will see what charity we are working for is RIP Medical Debts. It's very good charity. But if you want to buy boosts for players, for Gelfling and Gruenack and oh yes, Podling, you can buy them Faith Dice, which allows them to add to their rolls. And Alder realized she was running Faithcore incorrectly. You can actually spend Faith Dice to re-roll one dice. But you spend the dice and then it is gone. So Faith Dice are a limited resource on Thra. So if you spend $10, you can buy Faith Dice for players. That is very nice. Meanwhile, there are Darkness Dice, which are what allow a person of Thra to maybe cheat nature a little bit by pushing it to one side or another. But darkness is part of life. Darkness is part of Thra. Meanwhile, they can spend up to 3 darkness dice on any roll, and these refresh every roll. It is darkness dice are your friends. And then after players use darkness dice, the GM gets darkness dice, or you could buy GM boost of darkness dice, and they just come straight to me. So, $5 for GM boost, $10 for player boost. And if you would rather just skip the whole Twitch thing and go right to the charity page and give there, we have a link for that as well. So, let me do... Actually, let me do... Oh, that's right. I put them right on the screen. So, charity. R.I.P. medical debt. Very, very good, fun, darkness dice kind of charity. Let's do what corporations do and buy up cheap medical debt in blocks, and then just forgive all of it. Yay! So yes, no channel point buy-ins tonight, chatlings. This is because tonight is Augra's birthday, and Augra wants to see charity happen.
I mean, chatling, technically, because it's medical debt, it's entirely possible that if you donate, you are indeed buying boobs for someone.
Yes. And Augra dare say, people who need boobs tend to have a lot of medical debt because marginalized persons for one reason or another.
Yep.
I love them.
Everyone
Any
who wants
particular
boobs should have boobs.
Chatling contributions?
And you know what? Trans Gelfling are canon. Augra says. And if they're not, Augra says so.
There we go.
Alright, so... we join our party. They all met and lived for a time. Ah, there is a noise. Oh, thank you, Vampiric Yoda. Yoda, sounds familiar. Has rated us with a party of one. Well, thank you, Yoda. We do appreciate. Magic Fish Radio often rates other channels with the party of one. It's every little bit is help and welcome. Thank you very much. But feel free to tell other people on social media that Augra is running a role-playing game. Augra worked really hard on this chat, so go spread the word, please, or Augra will be disappointed. So... I am already behind schedule. Fantastic. So, let's do this. Let's do something fun. We also, on this channel, like to use the Decuma cards. The cards themselves are not out yet, but the PDF is for Kickstarter backers, and it is very fun. So, we pick up with our party. They were all living in the Great Sog when Vevra asked for help, or Vevra, did you ask for help, or did people just sort of want to come along with you as you said, I will complete the hard quest and become All Maudra?
No, I asked each member of the party to come with me because I thought that we had a pretty good cross-section of life in the swamp.
Is swamp full of life. So much life. Some of it wants to eat you, but so much life. But like in forest, there is life, there is death, there is things that want to eat you. It is Thra. It is just the way. Yes, So, our party convened in the Great Sog and started heading north. From the Great Sog and medium-sized Smurth, party has to travel across the Sprighton grasslands through the Darkwood to get to the Crystal Mountain to complete the Heart Quest. It's early summer, so at least the weather is mild. Oleka Staba, the cradle tree of the Darkwood, keeps its own chaotic balance of life and death in the Darkwood, but the creatures across this whole trip have been more unpredictable, sometimes more violent than is typical. And, oh, thank you for the follow, Forever DMs. I'm going to turn the notifications down a little bit because Augra is very easily distracted. So turn that down a little bit. But yeah,
So
I hope
the
all
group is us, and do we have any pets? And I know we also have Fork the Frumper.
Ah, yes. So, I believe Vevra has a pet?
Well, you say pet, I say hunting partner.
Yes.
Vevra has a muskie that is devoted to her. The muskie's name is Queel, and she is a female muskie.
Mhm. Apparently,
Flip has a stick.
so Muskie apparently never stopped growing. The largest of legend was at least the width of the Black River, and so Wheel will just keep growing. About how big is Wheel now? Not
Right
big.
now, Queel is about 200 some pounds, and since they're kind of flying eel creatures, I'm guesstimating that Queel is probably around 20 feet long and appropriately wide.
Mm. Yes, and before the journey, as to practice with Faithcore, I had players roll advantages before we started to get everyone used to the system. And I believe Mist made a new friend.
I did. Forg the Frumper, a giant frog who can carry 4 people. I am certainly riding on Forg. I don't know who else is.
Flip is on Forg.
And this is a muskie. I put muskie in chat. So yes, you have giant frog. Giant frog.
Frog! Frog!
Frumper.
That is deep.
Yes, Frumper is very large, aquatic creature. It's this is the mythic age of a mythic setting, so it is giant frogs. They just happen. Gigantic amphibians are just a thing right now.
Yeah.
Like Augur said, not canon. And if anyone wants to make it canon, please give Augur a writer's credit. Or actually, this would technically be give Mistin a writer's credit.
It's true.
Anyway, where was Augur? Ah, yes. So yes, it has been very helpful to have Forg and Wheel around because creatures are very, very ridiculous right now. It is just, it's making this leg of the journey more difficult than you expected. You've been trampled by mounders. You've been attacked by swarms of noggies, which aren't even supposed to swarm. You've been stung by all kinds of insects that would usually fly before fighting. What should have taken 3 days, especially with Forg, has been about 5. You got lost in the woods, and you weren't even planning to go to Stone in the Wood, but here you are, and you need a rest. And to recuperate. So,
I was excited.
yes.
I was
Yes.
excited.
And Forg's skin is getting very dry, and we're definitely going to need to get some water at the Stone of the Wood.
Yes, there is a nice still pond at Stone in the Wood. You've made a stop at Stone in the Wood. Sort of by accident, but you'll take what you can get. And you're still not far away from the Crystal Mountain. Stone in the Wood is known as the Hearth of Scarith, and you can rest and refuel and recover for 1 night before resuming your journey. The Stonewood Maudra has offered you hospitality, at least in the parts of the village that are open and welcoming to travelers. And you have this evening amidst the stone and tree huts, the wide reflective lake, and the Bolentor at the top of the high hill covered in dream etchings. And there are also other Gruenacks and Podlings hanging out. It's very nice, at least in the sort of public inns kind of area of the town. You go into the more private sectors and the locals get annoyed at you. So let's play with some Decuma questions. Vevra. Oh, Forever DMs has donated $20. That is very sweet of you. Thank you, Forever DMs. Please tell us in chat who those donations, whose boosts you're buying, if it's for GM or players or both. Which thank you very much for proving that our system works. Augur is very pleased. But yes, do tell us who the boosts are for, because I forgot to set up a system for that. Or tried and failed because it doesn't actually exist. Algra made it up in her brain. Oh, no, wait, no, Zoe uses it, but it's weird. Okay, the boosts are right over there. $5 for Faith Dice, $10 for Dark... Oh, wait, I did that backwards. Well, fine. So the players get Faith Dice. Well, we'll just have to see.
Hey!
Well, Algra made a mistake in Photoshop. So, yes. $10 for GM boost, $5 for player boost. Silly Algra. Needs to get a proofreader. Anyway, so Vevra, for you, you get
I see no problem with it.
Yeah, sure, thank you. So 10 of coins for Vevra. Stone in the Wood is celebrated for something that happened in the past. What happened? I mean, a lot of things happened, but you know, give us something new.
Many things have happened, but I think the reason that it was called Stone in the Wood is the village was first founded when there were Gelflings moving into this place for the first time. And they walked and explored and got eaten by things and ate other things and ate the berries you should eat and ate the berries you shouldn't eat. And finally, they came across in a clearing a spike of crystal, pure purple and white crystal jutting from the earth, the size of two Gelflings standing on each other's shoulders. And they saw the crystal and they realized this was Thra's sign to them that this was the place to sit down and create the Stone in the Wood.
That is a lovely story. There are a lot of stories of how it happened, but that is definitely one of them. And players, you get 2 Faith Dice in a communal pool, in addition to the 3 you start out with every game.
All right.
All right. Next, Riv, you draw the 9 of coins. What resources are squandered in Stone in the Wood? What can they actually be used for, and do you tell them so?
Of course I tell them so. Riv likes to talk to people. Riv has a regular stone and moan with other Gruenack and explains to them that the fallen wood is useful even if it is in small chunks and the little rocks. And just because the wood is soggy does not mean the wood cannot be used. You can dry it out and use it, or you can use it wet and shape it.
Yes, stone and bone? What? Oh yes, I remember.
Unknown.
Yes, explain what that is to the chat, because it is very funny. Or it is, well no, it's not funny, it's just very clever.
Well, when Gruenack get together, we talk about stone, and sometimes we moan about how life is treating us. It is a stone and moan.
Yes, every community needs a stone and moan. Alright, next. Oh, I also have it in front of me. Plip, you drew the Empress card. There is someone whom everyone in this group cares about in Stone in the Wood. At least, you know, by the end of your stay. Who is that person, and why do you all care so much? Who is your blessed local cinnamon roll? Or maybe it's not a cinnamon roll.
Well, you see, there was a kid and a podling. If it's too much, I'll stop.
I mean, at least it's not the flute. The flute blew out Algra's eardrums.
So sorry. Anyway. So there was a little podling kid who decided that he did want to try what the Gruenack said. Now the podlings are... I'll stop. Fine. Little kid podling decided he wanted to try what Riv was selling, essentially. The wood, the soggy wood, kind of making stuff and things. And so he made himself a little ball out of wood. Very, very easy to twist. He bent it, you know, it was soft. So he bent it, and then he kind of tied it together. It was a little rickety, but it was very cute. And it rattled because he put things in it. And Riv was very impressed. And when Riv is impressed, we are all impressed.
Oh.
And then we all shared galosh at the Podling, local Podling Inn.
Oh, that is very sweet. All right, and Mist, you drew the Judgment card. Your group, while you were in Stone in the Wood, revealed a major truth about someone powerful. Who was it, and what did you reveal?
Um, sure. Um, um, the when we entered Stone in the Wood, we were upset to find that that the guards at Stone in the Wood were demanding a tax for entering and for passage, which is very inhospitable. And eventually we discovered that while in theory the reason for this is that they would beautify the community with this tax, the actual answer was that the Maudra was pocketing the money and other goods confiscated, and planning on using it for her own betterment. And eventually, she was kicked out of power.
Oh, dirty Maudra. Goodness, it's a good thing she's not going on the hard quest.
It is a very good thing she's not going on the quest.
Miss Dunn, did we just cause a coup?
We didn't cause the coup. She caused the coup.
Miss Dunn, did you cause a coup?
We all helped. It was not a coup. It was simply a restoration of the proper order.
Oh, all right then.
We revealed information.
That's all right then.
Well, this quest has been maybe a little more exciting than you were expecting, both physically and politically. Well then.
Hit somebody with the pokey stick.
All right. Well, let me bring out some random encounters as things take a little bit of a turn. So your merry band leaves the Dark Wood, or goes back into the Dark Wood the next morning. Much cheering. Everyone is happy to see you become the new All Maudra, especially when you took down a crooked Stonewood Maudra, who was then replaced by other wise women. They have a whole sort of council thing going on, who is trying to put things to rights. So she at least is very grateful for the fact for you coming and upsetting the apple cart.
Helping.
Yes, Gelfling. Gelfling love to help other Gelfling. Yes. So the next morning you leave to much applause and all your rations refilled and any wounds or injuries you had healed up.
Gosh.
Yes, and good Podling drink in your gourd is very nice. And yes, thankfully, it'll take about 2 days for you to get through the rest of the Darkwood to the Crystal Mountain, which really just juts right up out of the forest. Sometimes if you climb a high tree, you can see it. But it is a few days away. So,
Rip, what can we expect in the mountains? I've read about them and I've heard about them, but I've never actually been to one yet. Is it's like a really big rock?
It's like a forest with rock instead of tree. Sometimes it is one big rock, but sometimes you know how you have tree that shelters other trees?
Absolutely.
It is like that with rock.
Right. They're not all rock. I know a mountain is it is land. It is land that is written out of the earth, like when a bone sticks out of flesh. Except it doesn't actually hurt the earth to do that, because Thra is not nearly as weak as Gelflings are.
And sometimes there is forest on mountain, and sometimes there is is farmland on mountain, and sometimes it's just mountain on mountain. And when it snows, then mountain is white.
Oh, yes. The top of a mountain can get very cold.
What
And
is
also, it can be hard to breathe sometimes
what is
if you get too hot.
snow?
It is like rain, only it is white, and you can pack it together and build things, but not things for long. They will turn into water and melt. But it is fun while it lasts.
So snow is not water, but become water.
Yes.
Clip understand.
Let's go back to this cold thing. How cold? Like
It
would I
depends.
need to wear shoes?
You might if it gets very cold.
Well, I'm planning on wearing shoes. You can do what you wish.
Riv and Miston, roll me, knowledge and lore.
Do we want to add an approach to that?
Well, yes,
Careful, perhaps?
pick an approach. Careful would be allowable.
Right. So that's a 10 and a 4.
10.
Very good. Gruenack, roll.
This is a 5, and this is a 2, so 7.
To Riv, a mountain is a mountain and is a mountain. Gruenacks are sturdy. It doesn't matter. Miston. So, cavelings, Gelfling who live underground, tend to prefer, like, sometimes a cavern will be warmed by a hot spring, but generally you tend to prefer the cold, dark, dank caves where it's humid and, it's just more comfortable for Gelfling. From what you've heard of stories, one thing that does seem common to all of them is that the crystal caverns, the crystal mountain, is very, very hot and dry.
It is a hot mountain.
It is a hot mountain.
So it is a hot mountain.
It is
so
not. It is not a volcano. You have read about those, and Grottons or cavelings tend to avoid them. Although sometimes Gruenacks live in them on purpose. Like, okay, it's Thra.
Place to live. It is no stranger than living in a swamp. It is just differently strange.
My understanding is that it's easier to live in volcanoes until you burn to death. But this seems to be not a problem for some Gruenacks.
Living in the swamp, very easy. A lot of food, a lot of warm, a lot of
Sometimes you sink. Sometimes you sink in swamp. Sometimes you burn in mountain. If you are smart in swamp, you do not sink.
Yes.
Sounds
So this is a warm area, warmer than we like, really. But it's not a volcano.
Not a volcano, as far as you know. Well,
yes.
You would think if there were a volcano next to the dark wood, someone would have noticed.
Or said
someone would have.
Or said something. I mean, there are hundreds of songs sung about various heart quests and all of the things that and just all over the place. But one thing that seems to get it. One thing that seems to hold them all together is that the Crystal Mountain is warm, very warm, hot.
Well, then you will probably not need shoes.
I have never, unless you need shoes to protect yourself against the heat.
But do they not make your feet just hotter?
Not always.
Oh.
So
I don't think Riv wears shoes.
So
as get cold,
as our experts on mountains are conferring, Plip, you smell something delicious, like just sweet and sticky, just off the path. It's getting towards twilight. You might make camp for the evening, but something smells delicious. And rations are nice, but fresh fruit is nicer.
But first, Clip will make sure that Clip is not trying to steal it from somebody. Clip will check for animals and stuff, also trying to eat the sweet, tasty thing. Plip will do this.
Well, it's very easy to find, and it really just it's a tree with very lovely purple fruits on it. Olgra has a picture. It's a bit weird, but they're a bit oddly shaped, but they're... Oh, can we... Oh, for goodness sakes. Look,
There
purple
we go.
fruits. Purple
Ooh.
fruits. Very interesting looking.
Ooh. It is interesting.
All in bunches of purple fruits, hanging off of a tree. And there does... You're Podling. You don't see any notice of farming, or there are no other animals trying to eat off the tree. It just looks like, oh, well, this got ripe just in time.
Plip will try and knock some of the fruit down with the stick because Plip is bad at climbing.
Fair. All right. Then give me, I guess, Algra maybe should have named this something else, but give Algra a combat roll. Quick or forceful, or flashy, or clever. Whatever's good for Plip.
Plip will do it quickly.
Mhm.
That is the wrong guess for quickly.
Oh yes, lots of Gelfling don't wear shoes. They're kind of annoying in the swamp, to be honest.
There's
Plip has an
nothing
11.
worse than soggy shoes,
Fantastic.
so we just decided to avoid them.
So party,
Plip doesn't wear shoes either.
the moment the party hears the scream, the blood-curdling, earth-shattering scream, you realize Plip is not with you.
Come on!
But Plip is also, well, originally was not the one screaming. Plip? Okay, everyone, I need to roll against a fright attack. So if something were trying to scare the shit out of you, well, there goes our PG-13 rating. What would you roll to defend yourself, to assure yourself that you are not in danger? That this forest is not trying to eat you? Plip, you also have to roll, but your difficulty is higher because the tree is screaming right in your little Podling face.
Plip will roll clever, and I think this is a think attack, a social maybe?
Maybe. This is definite. The tree seems to be trying to intimidate Plip and everyone in a 5-mile radius.
I think for me that is careful and social graces.
Okay, so party, that is a difficulty of 11. For Plip, it is a difficulty of 15.
I think if I'm startled,
Plip rolled an 18. Plip is good at this.
Quick.
Plip is not impressed by the tree.
4.
All right.
Well,
Can I make a case for forceful and social graces in that I'm prepared to defend my companion, but I also would rather negotiate than fight?
Algru will allow that.
That is a total of 12.
And I got a 13.
4.
So, Riv, a blood-curdling scream splits the quiet tranquility of the dark wood, and you now have a mild condition. Well, I said they were... Actually, 11 minus... That's 7. That would be a moderate condition. Whoops.
I think I spin around so fast to fight something I don't see that I trip over my own feet.
So it's a good thing you have extra conditions, because you are now moderately terrified.
Okay.
Wood is very nice to work with. It's far less fun when it's screaming at you. Plip, you have actually heard of these trees with an 18. You've heard of these trees before, and it's confirmed when you look down at the fruits that you knocked into your hands and onto the floor, and even the ones on the tree as they all start going from purple to oozing some kind of green goo.
Are they no longer delicious?
You don't know.
Do they smell delicious?
Right. I'm going to attempt to look at the tree
At this point, yes,
And-
you notice Plip is gone.
Did the
and
tree
try to remember what I know about trees like this that we might be able to use against the tree. I am trying to obviously create an advantage, careful and knowledge and lore.
All right. Roll your
Discover.
cheese.
14.
All right, that is we can just call it the screaming tree. Would you rather call it the dark wood, or is this more about this type of tree in particular? Because then it is this lore of the screaming tree.
Lore of the screaming tree.
All right.
did screaming tree eat Pip? Did tree Pip?
This dendrous screeches, perhaps? Yeah, I got one for the biology peeps. Hey, hey!
Our resident Latin expert is
This
Trying.
tree can be carnivorous, but it usually
no.
holds its prey.
actually
Um,
no. Well, the thing is, you rolled to build an advantage.
I did, but it's
So-
a discover. So if you want to describe stuff to express what the discover part of the action, I'm totally okay with that rather than me making stuff up.
Yes, this is actual. This is in the books.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Maudra did her research. There's some weird
wow.
things
Discover
going
is
on.
different than create.
So it's really just called the Screaming Tree. And by the time you've reached Plip, you see that yes, it's an interesting defense mechanism. It screams so that people don't take the fruits before they're ready to seed. And once the tree starts screaming, it has a side effect on the fruits where they start oozing a green goo, which, well, in Stone in the Wood, you might have run across people who harvest these fruits specifically for the green goo, but they heavily dilute it, and it has kind of a nice sedative effect. This much in its pure form, and Plip might not be able to keep walking tonight.
Oh dear.
It's it's not deadly poison, but it will mess you up, Gelfling and Podling.
I think Bevra is going to attempt to, like, the bodyguard leap and like pull Plip away from the oozing green fruit because she does
Plip's
not
got
want to
green
end up like she did a couple weeks ago, carrying Plip across her shoulder from
No, that is
another
my job.
incident.
Flip has got like 3 fruit in hand, by the way.
Protecting the Podling from himself.
Plip, no.
Does Plip eat the fruit?
Those fruits still smell delicious.
It still smells delicious, just looks a little disgusting, but you know, it's Thra.
Flip has eaten worse. Flip is going to try a bite. Flip is not clever.
Okay.
Flip is not clever. I say-
Plip,
Flip is not smart. Flip is actually very clever. But
it's like someone gave you, like, 2 gallons of good Podling drink, but in a shot glass. So you now have the moderate condition of dreamlike days.
You want me to carry Plip for you, Bevra?
So Plip can technically walk, but is Plip walking in the right direction or into solid objects? Well, Plip?
I am curious. Is that an instance of Plip being hindered by one of Plip's aspects to make this terrible decision?
Let me look at Plip's character sheet.
Flip's aspect is fond of the good things in life. So this is not the
Uh,
first time Flip has been this drunk. But
Well, Plip's trouble is cowardly, and if anything, that's the opposite of what just happened here. So,
I think Barbara just looks over at Miston and sighs and says,
Flip is now giggling. Like
"Have a tripping Podling. What shall we do with our tripping Podling?"
First you were questing, now you're tripping. Fantastic.
Is this a song title? What shall we do with a tripping podling?
Well, I suppose our tripping podling will have to go on Frumper. Unless you want to carry him, Riv.
I think that is my job, yes.
Frumper says,
Thank you, Frumper.
Flip! There are things that are poisonous that are not in the swamp. I know it seems like we got all of the poisonous, toxic, and venomous things, but they're all over the place.
oh, yes.
It's good.
I mean, granted, it does sound like fun.
Yes, the tree will yell at us more. I think we should leave Tree alone.
Maybe
Is it clear that Riv is still terrified?
Yes, Riv has a
Oh,
moderate
probably.
condition.
Oh, I know.
So, yes.
Tree is very scary.
Riv,
So
I understand.
let's go over how recovering from conditions work. It's a little bit different since this is a one-shot from typical Faithcore. Adjust Algra's hair. So someone, whether it's the person who is conditioned or someone helping them, needs to make a recovery action. And that will require a roll. Once the action, assuming the action succeeds, let's see, for a mild, you need 5 trait success. So it's one of the only time Algra will make you roll for a success of 5, because we don't usually do that. A mild condition will go away at the end of the scene once it's been treated. Moderate, you need to hit a 10 trait success, and then it's gone after a so-called long rest, which is a bit less specific in Faithcore, as it is a fate-based game, and so if you're going to make camp tonight, you can probably work on both of them, and then tomorrow they'll be good to go.
All right.
So remember, Riv, that tree was very scary. But it is almost certainly the scariest thing that we will see on the entire journey. I am using sneaky and knowledge and lore to lie to Riv in order to get Riv over this right.
You mean this is the worst it will get?
The worst it will get.
Yeah, that's going to require a roll, Gelfling.
Oh yes, yes it is.
Flip meanwhile has staggered over to Veverus, trying giggling to offer her a bite of the fruit.
I don't think Riv is
No, I
convinced.
will
That was a 6.
happily
No,
take
Thra has many more scary things than yelling tree.
I mean, Miston, darkness is a part of life, is a part of Thra.
That is true. My odds are okay. Sure, I will draw on darkness to make to possibly make Riv believe this shameless lie. And I roll a 6. So yes, that is a 12.
Very good. Very good. Algra is
there
pleased.
are worse things than this on Thra, but maybe we will not meet any of them.
And maybe we will not meet any of them,
Maybe
and we'll
we
have
will not
time.
meet any of them.
And you've been prepared by this by this fright.
Yes.
And therefore, you will be less afraid of the other things.
I will be ready for screaming trees.
Yes, and other things.
Absolutely. Yep. Anything screaming, you got it now. You are prepared for anything that screams.
It is probably even more afraid of us than we are of it.
Yes,
That's why it's screams.
definitely.
Oh,
I'm also going to take that fruit from Flip and squeeze it into a bottle, or like an empty water bottle or a water skin, because it seems like a useful thing to have.
To do that to some effect, you can create an advantage roll.
Absolutely.
Then you will have that for later.
All right. So, if I'm remembering my advantage correctly, I choose.
You could also use, because Miston, if she wants to share, did create a one
yes.
one trait an extra d6 for the screaming tree, which
I am
this
happy
counts
to use-
as.
I am happy, given that advantage will be relatively useless relatively soon for you to use that in order to help create this more.
I mean,
persistent
assuming you
effect.
don't run into more screaming trees, or assuming
Assuming
you
we don't-
ever get out of the dark wood. I mean,
Yeah.
Auger's not saying one way or the other.
So I am going to suggest combining clever and knowledge and lore.
Okay.
And I would like to use my stunt in the swamp. Everything's poisonous.
Ah.
Gives me a +2 to knowledge and lore checks when dealing with toxins, venoms, and poisons.
I will allow that, yes. And you can add another d6 from Misten's
Yep, I'm
thingy.
going to tag screaming trees.
Screaming trees.
Screaming
Legit, this is in the Songs of the Seven Clans, and it's amazing. And I'm like, I need to add... Is there room for another random encounter? Yes. This random encounter gave 2 players moderate conditions, and I am so happy.
Alright, so I am rolling a d8, a d6, and a d4.
Yes.
For a total of 4 on the d4, 3 on the d8 for 7, plus another 3 on the d6 for 10, plus 2, 12.
All right, so you have the advantage. Screaming tree juice with 1d6 on it.
All right. Screaming tree juice. 1d6. Fabulous.
Also, Augra will allow players to use their own faith dice or pool faith dice to use advantages or aspects that don't have any more dice on them themselves.
Oh, cool.
Because
Awesome.
this is Thra, and we recycle on Thra. Very responsible on Thra. Also in general, because I just do that. Because, of course, as GM, Augra needs more things to keep track of.
Yeah.
So, this is the end of your first day traveling back in the dark wood. Do you make camp for the night, or do you want to book it through the evening?
Well, did we lose a lot of time to flipping?
No more than any other time Plip has tried to eat something that didn't agree with Plip.
Fabulous. Then I think we're
Podling occupational hazard.
I think we're reasonably on time then. So let's go ahead and make camp for the night.
Yes.
I think that's a great idea.
You find a very nice... So, one of the things about the Darkwood is it's effectively Olekastaba is the cradle tree, which means the entire wood is effectively lined with roots. Like it is one giant cradle basin made of wood. However, there are places where you can find just sort of a clearing of just dirt, so then you can build a campfire without making the forest angry.
Yeah.
You've
This
had...
is interesting. It's like entire forest is a nest.
Yes. Very much so. Smart
think
Gruenack.
Zebra probably builds really large fire circles because the ground being so dry kind of freaks her out. Because she's used to building fires on swampy ground where if you dig down an inch, it fills with water. And suddenly, this is just more dirt.
Well, also, Vevra, what soglings tend to do is just eat their food raw.
True.
And keep the cooking fires inside the trees that you all live in. Or make a stone hearth. So there isn't a lot of this kind of camping away from the swamp, so you don't even have to, you do not have to build a campfire, or eat food cooked, or keep warm. It is a bit cold.
Yeah, and
for early summer.
Try to be considerate to my Proto-Groton and Gruenack and Podling companions, because I imagine all of them are much more used to food that's cooked than I am.
Yes. Like you
Sushi.
especially just like, yes, sushi, well, blind fish wrapped in leaves.
Absolutely.
Very
Best
tasty.
Best thing possible. So it's just a tiny, tiny bit of swamp ginger. Best.
You make Augra hungry. Oh, Augra can't eat or she'll get weird plastic fur in her mouth. Oh, so sad.
Well, that's
Anyway,
good.
but you manage to find a weird little clearing, and it's got like almost like a wall of roots, and it gives you a nice sheltered feeling.
All right. What do you all think?
There
Shall
are
we
no
head
screaming
this way?
trees nearby.
Good to know.
I like the lack of screaming trees.
All right.
Yes, this means there's one fewer thing that Flip can eat that'll make trouble for us.
Flip is passed out on Frumper's back.
That also helps.
Robert.
So Vebra whistles, and in a few moments, Wheel comes down from where she was flying through the canopy, keeping an eye, and she floats down and settles herself along the top of that tree wall you were talking about, just keeping an eye out while resting.
All right. Do you set watches otherwise, or do you think you are sufficiently protected in this little nest?
I think that I don't know, Miston. I think that we should probably continue to set watches. The wildlife has been so strange lately that I don't know how comfortable I am leaving ourselves relatively unprotected.
Also, Plip might wake up and wander off.
Well, that's possible.
I think we're going to tie Flip to the frog somehow.
All right. That will require a roll.
Fabulous.
I just meant we should stay watches. I didn't mean we had to tie Plip to anything.
Speaking of roles, I think I'm going to try to befriend some small animal that lives in the local area to see if it can help us watch.
Very well. Is this one of your stunts?
It is setting up for a stunt.
Okay.
So the actual creating the advantage is, let's go for knowledge and lore, and time is of the essence, so quick. Sorry, social grace is quick, makes more sense. Because I'm being friendly. Specifically, I'm being friendly to animals, potential animal friends. And that is a 13 to create the advantage.
All right. So, you are being Snow White Gelfling.
I am.
Maybe tapping on in the way that Groton like to tap on the walls of their caves to communicate with other Groton in a kind of Morse code way, or whatever you have when you're a Gelfling and not an American human. You kind of tap on the trees and kind of listen, and there are song flyers, and you sort of attract a very pale looking little like dove creature, except it's got a mohawk.
Hi. We're gonna have to sleep, and I know you're nocturnal. Can you and your friends keep watch while we're sleeping to make sure that nothing sneaks up on us and that we don't wander off while we're asleep? That would be great. We have food we can share with you.
It's sort of so, and then you mention food, and it's like, ooh, yes.
Great. I will lend it. I think careful makes more sense than sneaky for this. I will lend it my careful for the purpose of helping keep watch.
Okay. Oh, yes. Let me read how that works again.
I do have that.
Oh, shush, phone. Phone, why are you so... Sit, phone. Phone! Augra's phone, stop it. Okay, where is your sheet? So you're lending this flock of flyers an approach dice to perform a task. Okay. Yeah, that is a stunt.
It is.
All right. So, is anything else anyone wants? Does anyone want to do any recovery action? Oh wait, so Miston already worked on Riv. Has anyone worked on Plip to try and sober Plip?
Had.
No, Vevra created an advantage, but nobody has so far worked on Flip.
Oh,
Flip is dead to the world, but alive, but dead, but alive.
Flip is tripping balls.
Yes. Tripping gooey purple-green fruits.
I mean, one of us does have healing magic, I will point out.
well,
Yeah,
that ain't me.
That's
I think Bevra will kind of go over and Flip, you need to drink all of this water. She sets down a giant water skin full of fresh water. You have to drink all of it. Otherwise, you're going to feel very bad tomorrow. Very bad.
But if Flip drinks all that water, Flip will feel very bad tonight because Flip will have to go every 2 hours. That's almost as big as Flip is.
It'll be fine. It'll be good. You'll love it.
All right,
It's
so
very special water.
so what do you? This sounds like a social graces role to Augra,
All right, I can do that.
which
I will
this is
clever.
Faithcore, so yep, that works. This is Faithcore, so yes, you can heal someone with a social role. Why the hell not?
Hell yeah. All right, that's 2d8 for me. Let's see. Do I have any stunts? No stunts. I rolled a 4 on one of the d8s and a 6 on the other, so that gives me 10 total.
All right, so that will take out a moderate condition, or at least once it's dawn. And Riv,
Okay.
you are not happy to still be in the dark wood, but you're feeling a little bit calmer, and by morning you can scratch that off.
Flip will drink the water and get up 5 times during the night to,
And yet he doesn't remember doing it, but it clearly happens. Otherwise, you'd have a much messier Podling in the morning. So yes, that is day one of your continuing journey. Where are we?
Halfway through.
We can fit in one more problem, I'm sure. Oh, we can't. All right, so
I'm not going to chug the entire jug on stream, just saying that.
So, you wake up the next morning, and you are still in your little, alcove. Except all of these, they don't quite look like mushrooms. But they are very, very fungus-like. You wake the next morning to find your fire is embers, and you are surrounded. But by some kind of mushroom or fungus creatures that have sprouted out of the ground. What did I write? Augra. You wrote this in advance so you wouldn't stumble upon it. Good job, Augra. So they range from about 4 inches to a foot in width. These fungi resemble balloons or, if they existed, light bulbs just sticking up out of the ground. Towards the crown of each one's head is a shining pair of adorable, innocent eyes that are clearly watching you with interest. And they have little suckers around the lower part of the bulb instead of a mouth. And they look like this. They're absolutely adorable. There is no way.
Right, talk to one.
Yeah.
Flip is good at talking to them.
With those big, innocent anime eyes. Sure, Flip. It stares at you. It makes a kind of squeaky squeak.
Flip is not speaking out loud.
Squeaks.
Flip is speaking animal speak.
Oh.
Well, this isn't an animal. It is a fungus. I'll just say it's some kind of mushroom.
Anyone have talked to plants?
But it's not a plant. It's a mushroom.
It's a fungus.
Or, knowledge lore roll.
Not Flip.
Yeah.
I'll give it a shot. I guess clever.
Flip is about 5 seconds away from
Appropriate.
poking with a stick.
Clever. And knowledge of lore.
I'd say your in the swamp stunt applies,
Oh, great.
which is
So
great thing to tell you up front. It might be poisonous.
Ooh, that is an 8 and a 4 on my D8 and my D4. So that is 14 in total, max possible.
Ooh.
Well,
Plus
you know,
2 for the stunt, I assume.
oh,
if-
okay.
Yep.
if you so with a 14, so chat, if you're following along, a 5 is such a low difficulty I rarely make people roll it unless it's like the healing stuff. Standard diff is 10, and then to succeed with style is a 15. So with a 14, you do know that these are called puffrins. They are indeed a kind of animalistic fungus, because welcome to Thra. The trees walk, eat your heart out, ants. Some books or some sources and stories, because you're Drenchen, you're less of a book person, you're more of a listening to tales and looking at the dream etchings in the walls and such.
Yep.
Some sources say to steer clear of them, but not usually until high summer, which is about 1 unum away from now, or 1 month away. They eat by sucking insects into the little suckers in their bulbous heads. Obviously, they can't do that to Gelfling or Podling. You're all too big. They're mildly poisonous to eat, but not to touch. But many people don't feel comfortable eating things with giant, cute anime eyes.
That's only because they've never actually seen a fish.
But so that's what you get with a 14. I mean, if you were to roll a darkness dice, you could get a 15, and then I could give you a little bit more.
Oh, foul temptress.
I have an advantage. I have the Gruenack's Guide to
Can't apply it
Gelfling
after the
Quest.
roll.
Oh, right. Never mind.
Already rolled as high as you could.
All right, no, I'm gonna stand. I'm gonna go with 14. Curse it.
Okay then.
I'm sure you get an advantage if you roll the 20.
Physics be damned. All right, so the clip was trying to talk to one, thinking it was an animal, and it's just sort of squeaking and whistling at him excitedly as the rest of you pack up your camp. It does seem to respond like a thing with eyes and a brain, maybe.
Does it seem like they're trying to keep us in camp? Are they a nuisance? Are they helping? Are they just sitting and watching?
They're mostly just sitting and watching. It's like a bunch of mushrooms just sprung up overnight and are just sort of there.
Voyez, galouche.
Sure. I will see if I can recall, building on what Vebra figured out, if there's anything I remember from what I've read about what are they called?
Puffrins.
About the Grims.
Well, we've already had one roll about it. So as you're trying to rack your brains, like, I've heard of this. There's something about them that's a problem. They all start exploding.
Whoops.
Oh dear.
And so everyone needs to roll to dodge or run away against a 13, because while the force of these exploding fungi isn't painful in itself, the force of the blasts is gonna knock you on your butts.
So what are we rolling to run away?
My stunt applies. Nabushu.
Roll whatever you think makes sense for you running the hell away from exploding mushrooms.
Sure. I'm going to say
Combat
that...
would be a good one, but this is Faithcore. Be creative.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and roll arts and crafts, because this is not the first thing I've handled, especially when working with Riv, that exploded on me.
I am gonna go quick combat because I'm boring.
That's
So
does my trouble kick in? Because I'm wondering how that works.
if you want to, I believe, what is it? To endure your trouble, you roll only an approach or a skill, and then you get a faith die for it.
Yeah, I think my trouble kicks in because how does this work? What good does exploding do? You're then exploded. What?
All right, everyone make your rolls.
Yes. I didn't describe mine. So I have a stunt knowledge carries me, which does not apply here. But I think it thematically justifies my saying that what I'm doing is I am sneakily I'm not going to use knowledge and lore, but I am sneakily getting out of the way and putting things in between me and the explosions.
All right, I'll allow that.
But I'm not going to use because the stunt doesn't apply. I'm using combat plus sneak.
Yeah, okay, everyone roll. You have to get over a 13 to get away from exploding pufferins.
What if we meet it?
Meeting it is fine.
Okay. Cause
Out of curiosity, can I roll a faith die if I'm letting my trouble thing, or am I just rolling?
You can.
Yes, but you roll it with a discipline, not your trouble.
So what happens is because you're enduring an aspect, you roll all of the dice you would normally roll, and then you can only keep one of the discipline or the skills or approaches that you rolled.
Oh, I see. Okay, I'm not going to use the faith die then, but I'm going to use clever because I'm trying to figure it out, and knowledge and lore because I cannot imagine what other skill it would be.
Well, you're still trying to run away. It's that you're kind of. Anyway, all right, just roll it.
It's the same numbers either way, really. My highest is a 3.
8. I did not fail by more than 5.
I rolled a 10.
Oh dear. Well, okay. So those of you with who got mild conditions, I believe that's Mistin and Vevra, take bruised as a mild condition. Riv, you got a 3, which 13 minus 3 is 10, so you got another moderate condition.
but you did clear the last one, so.
So you get and you get a faith die, so that's nice for later. You are so enraptured by it. What is it doing? Why is it doing this? This is amazing. That it just blows up right in your face, and take the moderate condition bloodied, because it's like bruised, but worse. So it's still just more surface, but it's like a lot. But you're a Gruenack, you can take it. And yes, this is a Jim Henson property. Augur wanted explosions. So
we all support explosions.
Like a machine gun, if those have been invented yet.
What does it do it that I'm hurt? It's dead. It's exploded. I do not understand.
Well, as I will give you that, as it exploded, you did see it sort of releasing lots of little spores. So you're also a little bit sneezy.
Oh, it's having fungus babies.
Let's get out of the spawning circle.
Yes.
Good plan.
Why did we even come to the Darkwood?
I knew there was some reason it was dangerous.
And since
but now we know something new. This is fascinating.
And
do I have? Listen, do I have spores in my ears?
Welcome to Thra.
You might have wanted a bath. Baths are good.
I would love a bath. Where's enough water?
All right. So, yep. And now it is, all right, we've got some time. All right, we'll see how, God damn it, phone, shush. You know, I'm just gonna unplug you, phone, because you are making annoying noises, and it's very distracting. All right, so, is that 10 minutes before our break time, but I think that's enough time to get into the next situation. You are very sure that if you keep up at this pace, you can get to the Crystal Mountain by dusk. And then you can
Alright.
go on the real meat of the heart quest, like the real important part, not fighting mounders and bugs and exploding mushrooms, and then yes.
Being part of a mushroom reproductive cycle.
Yes, you still would have to climb up the mountain once you get there, but you can at least get to the mountain by dusk. And you do have time when you come across a nice little freshwater pond full of swimmers. Wheel more or less says we're taking a break because I'm hungry.
Absolutely.
And you're a you're a sogling. You want to, wade in the water a little bit.
Yeah, I drop my armor by the side of the pond and just dive in.
So, and then there's Forg, and
Pip drops everything by the side of the pond and dives in.
Oh no, Nick.
Giddy! Oh wait, wrong enemy.
We're totally PG-13 people.
Yeah, there's just like
You need to wear pants!
branches and stumps.
It all depends on the angling of the camera. But
A
yes,
lot of
it's,
side shots.
it's an idyllic scene. The trees come right up to the waterline. But it's just a nice little place to hang out. So now I need, and everyone's, lunch, rations, or raw fish out of the pond. Everyone roll me a careful or clever combat.
Well, that's not good. Sure.
I think I'm going to use my advantage of the Gruenack Guide to Gelfling quests.
All right.
Because I picked that up when I was, gossiping with the other Gruenack about what to expect.
Mm-hmm.
13
That
for that.
Is that
Never
a
mind.
D6 I'm adding, or how does the advantage work?
You
D6.
add a d6.
Okay.
It's like a faith dice, but not.
And say something if you roll a 1 on it.
Yes.
Okay.
If you roll a 1 on a, I generally, if people roll a 1 on a built advantage dice, they can generally just keep it, because that's what you do with faith dice.
I did not roll a 1, but I got a total of 15.
Oh, lovely.
7.
Okay. So, who got less than a 10? So,
Oh, I did. I rolled a 3.
Flip and Mistin, you have no idea what's going on.
As is usual.
And I dare say, well, we'll get there. Who got more than a 10? Who got more than a 15?
15 on the dot.
All right, so Riv, you get an additional D6. So basically what happens is the Arduff charging out of the bushes gets... Flip or Mistin? Goes straight for Mistin first, ironically, since she's the one that talks to animals. It is bigger than Forg. So it gets the drop on Mistin, but not on Vevra. Let's see. Riv, you get an additional D6 on your next attack roll against this thing, because
Right.
your guide to Gelflings is like, well, an Arduff, it's a bit like a coyote, but also like a fox, like a really, really big fox. Like a fox on the same scale of Forg being a frog, like it's big. It has a fluffy tail, it has very long legs, it has a snout, but it shouldn't be here because the lore states... Actually, since you use it, I'll just give you the lore roll. They typically hunt in the Crystal Desert and are, I think Olga is pronouncing this right, crepuscular. So they're dusk hunters.
But
Mm,
They're
no.
not known to be in the Endless Forest.
Crepuscular
So,
does not mean dusk hunting.
and it's midday. So,
Crepuscular does mean dusk or dawn.
And
dusk
it's
or
neither
dawn.
dusk nor dawn. What is it doing here?
Zebra.
But
Zebra,
clearly it's trying to eat Miston. But
Yeah.
aside from that,
Be allowed to do that, obviously.
so now we go into combat rounds, or at least maybe one before break starts. But it is 4-on-1, so let's hope people start rolling better. Did I not give the offer? Blah blah. No. All right. So, Miston, you are being forcefully teeth that bited, which is its skill because building NPCs in the system is really fun. So that is a D10 and a D8.
And I am attempting to defend by diving under the water, and putting the water between me and it, sneakily fighting it.
That's fine. Well, sneakily evading it.
Yeah, sneakily evading it. Oh yes.
Which is, what you should do as a tiny Gelfling girl.
Yep.
My dice, however, do not like this clown. 5.
Okay, the Ardif only rolled a 10. So, because I might be saving those darkness dice for something, we'll see if we get there. Because I just had to run combat. Fun. Alright, so the Ardif gets, take the mild condition sliced.
Sure. All right.
So the Ardif chooses who goes next. However,
right.
there is another Gelfling in the water who isn't wearing armor. So yes, Vevra, you can go next. And then it popcorns because Fate Cortex.
All right.
Popcorn initiative.
So I think Bevra leaps for her trident, the heart of the swamp, which is lying on the bank, not too far from her reach. And she propels herself out of the water with a strong thrust of her wings, because this is what Drenchen wings are for. And at the height of her art, she hurls the trident at the misplaced beast. I am going to spend a faith die and roll forceful combat.
Okay. And you're just going to roll quick self-preservation.
That is a 21.
Wow.
And now the Ardif rolled a 5.
Wow.
Well, how many severe conditions?
So 16. Yes, thank you. So that's a severe and a mild.
So I think what happens is the trident goes all the way through the shoulder of the beast and actually goes far enough in that it kind of nips the liver as well.
All right, so past
So I
Ogra actually wrote 2 sets of conditions. One, if we're short on time, which we are. So you got 4 mild conditions, but that's still quite a lot of conditions. So consider that 4 milds. That is also 4 potential D6s you can use by using the creature's injuries against it.
Absolutely.
We won't bother naming them because that takes more time.
Pierce times 4.
Bloodied
Ouch,
times 4.
Ouch and ouch.
So yeah, explain again what you do because I was busy. Shush. All right, we'll get through 2 more turns and then we will end in the middle of combat, assuming you don't just kill it. Because, well, clearly it's confused. It's not supposed to be hunting Gelflings at midday.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, another fun thing from the Gruenack. So Riv used a darkness dice to roll this advantage. So it's kind of snarky. So, the Gruenacks have decided that Gelfling probably never would have bothered learning weaponry or smithing if they hadn't been so badly attacked by the Ardoff in the Crystal Desert.
Rude.
Yep.
Rude.
That's what darkness dice get you. Wait, you also rolled one for Forg. We'll see how that goes. All right, so Vev, you struck it mightily with your trident. Did you use you can just use your trident without spending the dice on it. So
Yep.
you did that? Okay.
Yep, I just used it as a wonderful stabby thing
Cuz
instead of its
yes.
nature as part of the swamp.
cuz it is a partially magic
Yes, it is.
stabby thing. So, okay. But you don't really need it here cuz you're in the middle of a pond.
Yeah.
All right. So who goes next, Vev?
I think that Flip goes next.
Flip is confused a little bit at what's going on, but Flip sees the thing injured, and Flip knows that this is an animal, not a fungus, so Flip's gonna talk to it.
Okay.
Flip is going to try and convince it that it does not want to hunt anything here. This is the wrong place for it, and it should go to its place. And Flip will do that cleverly with social graces and adding a dice for animal soul speak.
Are you
Now,
adding any of the condition dice?
Oh, you can also.
Can Flip tag one of my wounded advantages?
Yes.
Because predators don't like getting hurt. So, Flip, please feel free to
Yes.
tag one of those free advantage dice.
You can tag as many as you want, actually, and there's
Awesome.
4 of them.
Do that. I didn't remember. I was not
Flip
sure.
will tag all of them. Flip
So
has
add
one.
4d6.
Okay. It's like, well, I move my shit here so I can get my extra d6. All metal. Gotta love it.
Yes, if there are 4 different conditions, there is no ambiguity on this. Always tag different conditions.
Thank you for
Right.
the follow. Vulcan
Okay,
Phoenix.
so that is 10, 18, 20, 32, 33, 35.
So that's 7, which ends combat, let's just say. 7 mild conditions will very much end combat. But because this is Faithcore, combat is not always physical. It could be, now 7 traits of convinced to go elsewhere. So,
Yep.
so Plip, what do you say as this thing is trying to eat Mistin and getting stabbed by Vevra? And it is not having a good day. It lives in a desert. Why is it in a pond? Like, what do you say to this poor confused creature?
Lepa. Откуда? Voye Babulim. Nabushu. 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 Nabushu.
It just sort of like starts limping out of the pond, its wound still bleeding, and just sort of limps its way through the tree line. Vaguely, so you're so vaguely northeast where the Crystal Desert should be, if Augur is remembering the map correctly. So
Audra is the map. She's fine.
the map is whatever Augur says it is. It's the Age of Innocence. Deal with it. Read a book.
I will come out of hiding, the combat being over. Say, are you hungry,
resentful.
poor thing? How did you even get here?
Oh, it's gone.
Oh, it's gone.
It's
All
it's
right.
just
What
it's,
was it doing here? It is a desert creature, as Flip said.
Well, it was trying to eat us.
Yes, I understand that, but it should not have been here to try to eat you in the first place. It
the
certainly
last
should
thing-
not have tried to eat you.
The last thing Flip says to it before it leaves is, Fala abo!
what does that mean in Podling?
Nice to meet you.
It growls at you because It doesn't like Podling. It likes Gelfling, but these are weird forest Gelfling. Too juicy. So our 10-minute break is upon us. I'd like to keep it to 10 minutes, people, because we have a lot still to get through. Whew, Ogre always writes too much blood. Or, in this case, too many random encounters.
Counts.
So yes, chat, we are going on a 10-minute break. I am timing at 10 minutes. But stick around, buy some boosts. You can still do the charity thing. I will be in chat, and so are all our mods, so behave yourselves. And, yes, and when we get back, you will have arrived at the Mountain of the Crystal.
Fabulous.
To finally, hopefully, actually complete this ridiculous heart quest.
Cheers
Yes,
for Aldrin for that.
finally.
Yay!
Ooh, see you in 10,
All right.
chatlings.
See you in 10.
And hello, chatlings, we're back. I hope you're talking about us on social media, because that will get us more chatlings. So... Sorry, Augra had a brain fog moment. There we go. Yes, hello, verbing nouns. Sneaky, sneaky chatling. Oh, we're talking about Eurovision. Oh, goodness. Okay. Well, back in the mystical, mythic land of Thra, where there are no...
Explosions.
Well, there are still plenty of explosions, yes. So, your party, bedraggled, somewhat bruised and bloodied, finally gets to the foot of what some of you can only assume is a mountain because not all of you have seen them before.
Lip's doing fine.
There is a bit of a lip of just ground and grass, and then almost immediately just rocks and earth just piled up on top of itself, reaching up into the sky.
Flip will poke it with the pokey stick.
It sits there. It's a mountain.
Flip is not sure. Flip is not sure Flip approves of this.
I don't think you can plant a tree like that, Flip.
Flip's pokey stick is not a tree. Flip's stick is for poking.
It would take a much bigger pokey stick
Why
in order for
poke
the
your
mountain to notice it.
Okay, we're just going to say that, you can see the dream etchings from previous Gelfling who've been here saying, so that mountain pass is very difficult. This one is easy. That one is difficult but more direct, and that one is more easy and sloping. And less painful. Which do you take?
Let's take, wait.
Let's take
Difficult and more direct versus easy but takes longer.
Indeed.
I mean, I think between you and I, Miston, we can help anybody who needs help. And if we need help, I feel confident that all of you can help me.
Flip is good at helping.
It's sort of, for a given definition of helping, yes.
But is
Are
not
we in a
make
hurry?
sense?
I don't think we've run into a lot of we haven't seen any tale of other competing Maudren. So we might want to just take the longer route.
Well,
And if we are injured, does it not make sense to go on a slower, easier route? We do not have to get there by running.
No, we get there by climbing mostly.
Well, that is true. But if you think the other way, Bever, I will follow you.
This is not my territory. This is yours, Miston, and yours, Riv. So if you say that we should take the longer route, then I'll listen to your expertise.
We should take the longer route.
Okay, let's do it.
You have very cleverly escaped the GM's trap. Very good. Both routes would have taken the same amount of time, but one would have resulted in injuries.
Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Yes, as a crow flies, this one is shorter, but we are not crows. Whoops. Because Gelfling are not great at road signs. Well, some Gelfling are not. But alright, so it takes you about 6 hours, and it is a long sloping path that goes slowly, well, maybe not all the way around, but just, you know, long sloping path up the mountain.
Lots of switchbacks.
But gives us good view of mountain and gives you better understanding of what mountain means.
Yes, you see, after about 3 hours, you see the whole endless forest just spreading out, like you're standing on top of the Great Smurth and looking at the swamplands, but it is just, you definitely get a sense of the dark, endless wood looking down from the mountain.
Flip does not like mountains. Flip does not like mountains.
Oh, it was also dusk when you got to the mountain, so you're climbing through the night? Or do you stop to make camp? Alright.
Flip does not like mountains.
Oh,
There's
Flip,
another
it's not
advantage
that bad.
to easier path.
Yes,
Okay, you all talked at once. Who said what?
I said that was an advantage of the easier path, that we could climb into the night.
Okay. Vever said.
Not that bad, Flip. It's okay.
And the stars are shining, so it isn't very dark. Says the
Yes.
cabler.
the three sister moons are out, the stars are out. It's very nice.
It's perfectly easy to see.
So also, you very clearly see, like, there are some rocks trying to nibble on you, but most of them have been cleared away. Because
one with a-
Thra. Hashtag Thra problems.
Flip hits them
Also,
with a stick.
you knock it right off the side of the mountain. It goes phew, off the mountain. You also find evidence of finger vines, which have been cleared away on this slower, easier path. Otherwise, they would have tried to strangle all of you.
Flip is thinking that perhaps Flip and Party is not here first.
Yeah, I was about to say, it looks like someone's ahead of us.
Someone roll me some lore.
Not Flip.
Oh.
Let's do.
Clever and lore.
I also can roll lore, but only one of us can roll.
And a 3 for 8.
Yeah, 5 and a 4 for 9. Flip still doesn't know anything.
Anyone get more than a 10?
I can roll. Apparently not.
Does anyone want to
but-
roll darkness dice?
Do you
I
want me-
think I'm gonna use watch, studies, and act to re-roll my 1. And spending faith die. I have some of those.
Oh, so you're spending a faith die to re-roll.
Yeah.
Okay. Algris is fine. But you could also add darkness.
Yeah, I
Algris
think I'll
just-
spend a second faith die to re-roll the
Keep
other.
taunting us with those darkness dice.
I don't know. Miston's gonna run out of faith dice.
Maybe, but people bought us faith dice.
It's
true. Just tell me when you use the two faith dice in the pool, so I know that they're gone.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Or chat, you could buy them more faith dice. And let us do the charity link. We put
and
all our.
because and yeah, I will spend I'll spend the free tag on we're trying. This is a knowledge roll. So yeah, no, I'll spend the I like Beast. I did watch Study and Act. And also Waste Not, Want Not. I picked up knowledge in here that I can use. So yes, I will spend another fate time.
Have you used any from the communal pool?
I have not yet because I'm being a good citizen and using
Okay.
mine before I hit the communal pool. Oh, that didn't work well.
Blip will use 1 darkness dice to finally figure something out for the first time in Blip's life.
Yay!
Okay, close.
Blip rolled 6 and now has a 15.
Fantastic.
Good. That means I don't need to keep spending fate dice.
Fantastic. Flip, you did not hear any rumors of any other potential All Maudras when you were at Stone in the Wood. And presumably, if another party had not gotten lost in the woods and just come straight from either Harar or the Crystal Desert, they would have had to go through Stone in the Wood. So, if there are other potential Maudras, they're not here yet. However, this is... plenty of people go to see the crystal for other reasons, or the guardian of the crystal, Mother Algra. So it's possible this is just, a well-kept path because people travel it now and then.
Reasonable.
So you don't notice any tracks that are fresh.
This is the first clever thing Blip has said this entire time.
Except he didn't say it, Algra said it.
Yeah. Blip will relay this knowledge, but yeah.
Flip explains it all. There we go.
Good thinking, Flip.
But yes, chat, if you want to buy more boosts for our players, we are not using channel points this time because we want people to give to charity. You could also just give to charity on your own and forget the whole Twitch thing. That's fine. So yes. You're climbing. It's nighttime. The nighttime is very pretty. Eventually, after about...
fall asleep while walking.
Yep. You've still got Forg with you. He just sort of sat there croaking when, you were attacked by a giant fox coyote thing.
It did.
He's
It
not...
might come in handy if we didn't actually defeat it quite so quickly.
He is not the brightest creature on Thra, so that's one of the reasons we love him.
Blip will go sleep on Forg's back.
Brr, brr, says Forg. Eventually, you arrive at a cave entrance that is draped with the finger vines that move to clutch at you if you try to move past them into the cave. However, there is a roughly carved, not dream-etched, actually carved, flat piece of wood with the triple eye sign and an arrow pointing further up the path past the cave.
Well, Miston, Riv, Flip, I think that we should go ahead and break for the night, because if I were Agra, I would not want to be disturbed in the middle of the night.
Blip's already asleep on the back of Forg.
That is a very good point.
We should be good guests.
That is not a bad idea. And I am a bunch of us are injured. I certainly am injured. And maybe we can repair our injuries before going in, just in case our Mother Ogre is angry.
Yeah, I could use some ointment on my bruises.
Yes, there are definitely stories of the Heart Quest where people have had to actually fight Algra. So, but they at this point all these stories conflict.
They probably woke her up in the middle of the night.
Precisely, which is why we're showing up at a reasonable hour in the morning with gifts.
I'm sure she is a morning person.
All right, so I think we go ahead and make camp.
Yes, there is some room on this sort of landing where the cave entrance is.
Do you want us to make recovery rolls? We're going to want to recover things?
If you want to recover things, yes, Algra says make recovery rolls.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So sure.
And if you could remind me again how to make a recovery roll?
What conditions do you have that you want to recover from?
I have a mild physical condition, bruised.
I have medium, moderate, bloody.
I have 2 mild conditions, which require a 5.
Well, I'd say work on the mild ones first because I'm a Gruenack. I can take it.
Alright, so, I mean, if you have healing magics, that would be a magic roll.
I'll do a magic roll.
Yes, Drenchen are known for their healing Vilyaya.
It is true. My mother can do it, and so can I. So that will be clever plus magic. And I'm going to use my stunt, River's Touch, which gives me a +2 to magic checks when using healing or water magic.
Go for it.
Ooh. That is 7 plus 6 is 13 plus 2 for 15.
Ooh, that is a succeed with style. I'll say that you can get all the. So we've got 2 minor.
I have 1 minor bruised.
So we have 3 minor conditions.
Well, the difficulty is a 5, so I'll say with that kind of burst of healing magic, describe what it looks like and how you accidentally heal all 3 of you a mild condition.
So I think Vevra sits down and she really concentrates, but she just looks around and there's no ponds, there's no swamp, there's no puddles. So she takes her water skin and she pours it out in front of her as she concentrates. And blue light just comes up from the inside the water as it pours down past her and turns into these motes that kind of swoosh out and circle around the bodies of her companions and her as their wounds and bruises close and heal over.
Very good. So, those will be gone by the end of the scene, effectively when you go to bed. Does anyone want to work on Riv, or Riv, do you just want to grin and bear it? Or not grin and bear, or just suck it up?
Well, I mean, I can try and heal myself, right?
Yes, if you have healing, like, tools or materials, I'd allow arts and crafts or knowledge and lore.
I don't have specialized healing material.
Let's see if we can find, but if we can find some specialized healing material, or do you want to just include that as part of the roll?
I would include it as part of the roll. Just
Sure.
get through it. Oh,
Yep.
It's 9:20. Yes, we have to keep going.
Yep.
So we talking arts and crafts or knowledge and lore?
Whichever you can sell to Ogra.
I
Is Faithcore.
think it's probably more likely to be arts and crafts since this is kind of a patchwork job.
If you're doing it on yourself, yeah.
Yeah, which means it's probably clever rather than careful. So that's a D8 and a D10 for a total of 6.
So meanwhile,
Do I report once? I forget.
you should talk about ones that you roll.
I rolled a 1 on the D10.
Okay, you may spend a faith dice out of your pool to re-roll that one.
Okay, I will do that. And I got a 6 this time, so that's adding 5 more points, which makes it an 11.
Alright, that's enough for a moderate condition. So you describe how Riv patches himself up, or herself up. Themself up.
What's
Riv is
just-
Riv.
Riv is Riv.
Riv is
I
Riv.
think what happens is Riv is pretty much used at this point to, bracing with stone or with wood, depending on what's actually nearby. Just sort of like doing like the equivalent of a stone cast or something, or a brace, like to sort of lean on, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's not a pretty job, and it's not a perfect job, but it'll do.
Alright. So, you all go to bed.
Yeah.
You are awakened around dawn as you hear someone trumping down the stone path towards you from presumably the top of the mountain.
Sit up and look up. Kind of
Just useless
unexpected.
Gruenacks. Someone muttering useless Gruenacks. Algra asks for a device to calculate the heavens for her. Oh no, Algra! That will take so long to develop. Wait, I made a thing for this. Algra asks for a device to calculate the heavens for her. Oh no, Algra!
Is that a device?
That will take so many trying to develop. Here, have a wide straw with mirrors inside while you wait. Grr. By the time they finish, we'll be all doomed. At
Hey,
this
Miss
point,
Gruenack?
she's still looking at the heavens with, let me see. Riv, you recognize this as a spyglass. You've seen these made by your people for, generally for the Seafen. The seafaring Gelfling.
But
But
that
she-
is
Don't let him out.
the heavens.
And then she sort of like stumbles upon what do you want?
Hello, Agra.
Palazo.
Wait, Gruenack, are you here to finally build the calculating machine?
Was not why I came, but can try.
Alright, what are you really here for? Tell Algra.
I pointed Bevra.
My name
Oh
is
yeah,
Bday,
Maudra.
and I am here on the Heart Quest. These are my companions, Flip of the Podlings, Miston of the Protogratans, and Riv of the Gruenack.
Oh, Gelfling politics. Alright, come along quickly now. Then Algra can get back to saving Thra.
Absolutely. Whatever I can do to help Agra save Thra.
The Zenpo.
Hey, I'm very important.
Algra goes to...
I'm very happy to help save Thra. It's where I live.
Alright. Haven't you noticed all of Thra is nervous? It could be the All Maudra changing lines, it could be something bigger, louder, world-changing, not just for Gelfling. Reverberating from the heart and out across all Thra in worry, making creatures fall out of their time, migrate to places not their territory, very confusing.
Oh, that
That makes
explains.
sense.
Yes, you've been outside of Algra's Mountain, you've seen the signs.
Ebolim.
What in Thra is even happening right now? And she goes to the cave entrance and just sort of starts slapping away all the finger vines, and they retract in terror. Bouge, 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 bouge. The heavens hold the knowledge I seek, but calculating by hand is taking too long. Algra born with the secrets of Thra, not the skies above Thra, so has to do this the hard way. Ugh.
How can we help?
Can you bring Algra a machine that maps the heavens and does all the calculations for the conjunction for her?
Probably not, but
But
if you
can
tell
maybe
Then
me
you can't help, Gelfling.
if you tell me what pieces you need, I can try to bring them to you.
Algra's been treating with Gruenack crafters for trine upon trine, and they still have not finished. So
What do
Algra
they
has to
have
do
so far?
math.
May I take a look at their work?
No, Algra has not seen it yet. Just gets swooful now and then. He's not done yet. We are still working out the timing mechanisms.
Well, maybe we can go and talk to them after the Heart Quest.
It seems
Well,
yes,
that's what
it
it,
seems
that
they are working on. Maybe help them make it faster.
One day, the three will shine as one, and the crystal will sing for them. A door and awakening, a time, all at once. Could be the end of the world, or the beginning. Better have your shard before that, Gelfling.
Well, that's what I hope.
So you walk into... Algra does not motion you to follow, but you get the sense that since the finger vines are still up, you can go after
Oh yeah,
her.
nope. Following after Agra.
Yep.
So inside, you see tables piled with scrolls and even bound books and tattered parchments and tapestries hung across the inside of a well-hewn homey cave, strewn with well-made but old and ragged carpets. It's a cacophony of languages and symbols from races and cultures all across Scarith, possibly beyond this continent and all across Thra. You see Gelfing, Gruenack, what passes for Podling, all over the place. Even languages you haven't seen of or heard of before. There's a hearth. There's a hearth in the outer wall with must have some kind of chimney, otherwise this place would be full of smoke. And a pot of some kind of vegetable stew is brewing. There's a round, low table on the floor, surrounded by threadbare pillows. So, tell Augur what you want.
I would like to become the All Maudra.
Anything else?
Well, you seem to be a person who appreciates hard talk. So here I give it to you. I wish to be the All Maudra. I believe that it is time for the lineage to pass to one of a different place, one of a different element. We have been ruled by the mountains and the winds for long. It has been the voice of those who grew up in those airy heights and has not been the voice of
Gelfling, the last All Maudra was a Deucin.
Was it? Damn it.
Desert winds.
Hey, winds.
Rewind.
Winds.
Slight rewind, Gelfling.
They are places.
Okay, start over again.
They are from the places of heat and wind and air, and it is time for water and life and mud.
Agra. Galoosh! Galoosh?
Not right now, I'm working, Podling.
Galoosh later.
You want to know what we all want, or just whatever wants?
Augur is here, Augur is listening, Augur is not busy trying. Augur is taking a break from too much mathematics, so what do you want from Augur?
I want to know the hidden things. I want to know the things that people want to hide, so that I can reveal them to light, or keep them hidden if they need to stay hidden.
I want to help.
And the Podling wants to drink.
Podling wants to share drink. Podling is good. Podling has good stick. Podling has good river. Podling will go back to good river with good stick, and Podling will be good.
Augur needs to shave. In my eyes. I'm gonna poke my eye out dealing with this. That would be terrible.
That's how it happened.
It would be awful for Thra if Mother Augur lost her eye.
I'm gonna be stuck with two like a normal Thra person. That would be awful. All right. Well. How's this for hard talk, Gelfling? No creature who seeks the crystal of truth returns the same, if they return at all. Some of you may be wise in the Song of Thra, as it separates into different phrases and melodies from its heart, through the rock, into the lands, plants, and animals, the sky and the sea, and Gelfling, and Podlings, and Gruenacks.
He is good at music.
No, Podling. Sit, Podling. Stay, Podling. But to look upon the crystal itself, pure, raw, undiluted truth, changes mind, body, and soul. It is not kind, nor is it gentle. Are you prepared to face it, Gelfling?
The swamp is not kind. When you dive into the waters, you come back changed. Sometimes it is because you have been chewed upon. Sometimes it's because you bring home things for you to chew upon. I accept that Thra is mighty, and I accept that Thra will change me. Thra has been changing me since the day of my birth, and if I were to stop changing, then I would stagnate and die.
Flip would like not to be bitten by a planet.
I think Vevra hands Flip a particularly large, particularly chewy sweet that was developed in the Great Sog to give specifically to Flip because he has to chew it enough that he has to take a moment to not say anything.
Okay, silly seems gonna work.
Augur seems more impressed by this than anything else you've said, so, you know. Any port in a storm. Very well, Gelfling. Just remember, truth is not good. It is not evil, it's truth. It is both darkness and light, and also neither of these things. So, alright. And Algra moves to the side and pulls across a tapestry with an interesting sigil on it. A spiral set against a triangle with a swirl of round points around it, possibly some kind of astrolography. She pulls across, and there is, well, the mouth of a cave. All right,
Okay.
Off you go.
Vevra heads in. Wheel attempts to follow if Agra allows it.
Augur seems to not care.
All right, good time.
Augur is
So
busy.
we all go then.
If they're devoted,
Follow.
must be companion.
If you're going, go. Augur has work to do.
Flip
I
is
also
still chewing the sweet, but I'm gonna eat my jelly beans because of the terrible jelly beans. Yeah, not good jelly beans. Flip will stay, possibly to share a drink with the Agra.
And Augur just glowers at Flip.
Flip is oblivious.
Come on, Flip. I'll make sure the planet doesn't beat you.
Flip, come on.
Flip gets up and leaves without saying, follows without saying anything because Flip is still chewing on the stupid thing. Flip will likely be chewing on this for the next 20 minutes.
Remember, the key to not getting eaten is to let Vevra go first.
I mean, that's some kind of strategy.
Those are really terrible jelly beans. Sorry.
Hey, she's a Drenchen huntress. It's not a bad strategy.
Worked so far.
Alright, so you walk into the mountain. The curtain closes behind you, and you would expect it to be darkness, except it is not. It is, it's like this entire mountain is laced with some kind of crystal that glows white and red and gold, depending on where it is. Giving, just enough light. Niston is doing better with navigation and probably Riv than Vevra and Plip, who are, daylighters.
Yep.
Flip has fallen over has tripped and fallen at least 3 times at this point.
Did you try to take Forg with you?
Sure.
There's
we'll
room.
Fit through the hall.
Yes, it is. This is a good-sized tunnel.
We will take Fork with us.
Forg goes.
Stay forward.
So the Heart Mountain, the Crystal Mountain, Augur's Mountain, is not like the territories of the Cavelings. Gelfling caves, again, warmed by hot springs, but generally cold, dark, and damp, lit by the blue glow moss and other phosphorescent creatures. It's easy to see that the mountain lacings of crystals probably stem from the Crystal of Truth itself, and just webbing beyond the mountain halls across all of Thra. But these tunnels are full of dry, acrid heat and vapors that sting your eyes.
Ooh, this is not good. I will send
Yeah.
Fork back. It is too dry and too hot for
Yes,
Fork.
after a little while, Quill is trying to hang in there like a good girl, but she's just sort of laying on your shoulder like a limp sock. I'm sorry, a 200-pound limp sock.
limp sock.
A
So she
200-pound,
looks leaning
20-foot
on
long
me,
limp
and I'm
sock.
like, oh god.
Yes, Vevra is a little uncomfortable.
Quill, if you need to go, go. I'll be all right. I'll see you when I come back.
With Quill and Forg departing, you will not be able to use that discipline or that. Well, I mean, if you can sell it to Agra, but if they're not here, they presumably cannot help you.
It's true,
But they are also water. They're also both amphibians, so this kind of sucks for them.
Yeah, and I think Quill's comfort is more important to Vevra than being All Maudra.
I mean, I will note one of us has the ability to summon a swamp, but
this is true. I'm not ready to piss off Agra that much just yet.
All right then. Yes, Forg so chat, Forg is basically a giant frog that can seat up to 4 people. Wheel is a muskie, which is a kind of flying furry eel creature. This one is 200 pounds, so quite a bit bigger than the one Naya has in the YA novels. But
She's
also
a little older.
And this is a mythic age where everything's bigger. Like Forgs. Or I'm sorry, what did we call him? What was his species?
Frumper.
He's a front.
He's a frumper. There we go. A Forg the frumper. So Wheel kind of sits on top of him, and they kind of creep back up towards the entrance of the cave. And you don't hear back from them, so you're assuming they made it.
Yeah.
But it is not comfortable here. Even Mistin, you can get used to the darkness, but this is not what this is not what Gelfling caves are like. There is this one very wide tunnel that you can all traverse easily, and it's pocketed with entrances to smaller tunnels here and there. Not all of you can read Gelfling, but there are dream etchings here and there in the stone to indicate that this main tunnel is the correct path. But this mountain does seem to be just honeycombed with just all sorts of passages.
Yeah,
Could be very easy to get lost here.
Trying to stay safe. Riv, do you have anything that, I don't know, like glows in the dark or something so that we can mark the way back just in case?
Like Olgra said, the Gelfling dream etchings on the walls are a pretty good indication.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we have the drill.
We have
already
those
there.
tools, yes.
People have succeeded at the heart quest before, Vevra. You're not the first, okay?
Well, of course not. But, never a bad idea to not get lost.
So, Mist, Vevra, and Plip, the fumes of this place, as if stone itself could burn and smoke from fire, make your head swim. It is difficult to keep your eyes open against the smoky heat. It's difficult to keep sight of your companions. At one moment, they're right in front of you, and another, they seem endlessly far away. You've already sent the animals away, so I can skip that.
We did. I will try to come up with a countermeasure that can at least partially protect us.
Yes, you will, all 3 of you take the mild condition dehydrated unless you do something to fix it.
Yeah.
So I think Vevra will kind of step off into like a side grotto and raising her trident above her head will sharply strike the ground and create a freshwater spring.
Ooh. Very nice.
So that's going to be...
That is a magic roll.
Flashy and magic.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and River's Touch. Actually, no. Heart of the Swamp is combat plus magic, so that's going to give me a D10 and a D6, and it allows me to create an aspect of the swamp in a non-swamp place. So we are going for a bubbling spring.
Okay.
That is a 9 and a 5. That is 14. I am going to spend one of my invokes. And hopefully make it a lasting. Ooh, that's a 5. So 14 plus 5 is 19.
All right, that's a lot of water.
Going to be happy with 19 and not be greedy.
I mean, Faithcore is great for cheese, so, and min-maxing. Like, Alger is fine with that.
Yep.
So, all right, so it doesn't stay very cool, but you do manage to get this sort of spring running down the corridor that you're traveling. So there's always a little bit of moisture there.
I take cloths that I've been carrying with us and dip them in the water, and wrap them around our faces. I rolled an 18 on my knowledge and lore plus careful check.
Okay, were you both building advantages?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's do that.
And wet towels. Mist, what did you roll again?
18.
All right, so that's 2d6 on bubbling spring and 2d6 on wet towels.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Riv, you're fine. This is like, this is just sort of nice, comfortably warm for you. You don't really understand why everyone around you is miserable, but, you're fine. You're like, oh.
First time I have been warm and dry since I came to swamps.
Yeah, well, I mean, your people sometimes live in or near active volcanoes. This is like, oh, this is pleasant. So you continue on with your defense against dehydration. Very dangerous for
I will
Gil.
give Flip a ride if Flip wants, since Borg isn't here.
Flip?
I'm sorry?
I will give Flip a ride if Flip wants.
Flip is up on Riv's shoulders immediately.
All right. So you're continuing through these barely lit, smoky caves. The smell of burning all around you.
Nabroshu!
Cough, cough. Yes.
Breathe through the cloths.
So
It'll help. Trust me.
Mm-hmm. So yes, these do help with dehydration, which is very good. Very good for Gelfling and Gruenacks and Flip. Well, Gruenack, you don't really need it, but, you're very comfortable. So as you continue another hour down these tunnels, you start to suspect that, you walked almost to the top of the mountain. You might be going now all the way to the base of it. So, it's been a few hours.
Gone in at the bottom.
Sure is a good thing. We're not there are no Aratham around. Also no Skeksis, because they're not here yet.
Oh. Well, I mean, Mist and you've met Aratham. They're a bit weird, but they're not bad.
Oh yeah.
They're just, it's weird when something talks telepathically to you without asking first. It's like, I don't know. Or speak via interpretive dance, which is entertaining but strange. Just a thought, chatlings. Aratham were available for player characters, but no one wanted to play a giant spider. Augur does not understand this, but Augur will roll with it.
It is true. What I was actually referring to as a player was the fact that we are recapitulating the journey through the castle that was made in both the movie and the show.
Castle? Movie? What are you even talking about?
Mountain.
Mountain?
A mountain, not a castle.
What? Castle? It's a mountain with very poor air circulation. But it does not need improving. It's Augur's mountain, it's fine.
The best kind of castle, one with poor air circulation.
Mm-hmm. And a very hot, dry castle. Anyway, warm rocks everywhere. So, Vevra, I assume you're taking the lead?
Yeah, I have people to protect.
So yes, the water helps, but you are still not comfortable. This is
Oh,
not your
no.
natural habitat.
This is terrible.
This is the worst. This is okay. The ridiculous animals were one thing. This is just what?
Yeah,
But
I love all of Thra, but I think I love some parts of Thra more than others.
and it's just the way sound echoes here. At first, you think it's just the way sound moves and is odd, but then you think no, you do actually hear the sound of steel cutting and clattering against rock, or iron, or whatever Gelfling use at this. Bronze, probably a lot of bronze. And then you
Someone
start hearing.
making something?
No, Riv, you can't hear this.
Oh, okay.
Only Vevra hears this. Vevra also hears voices. Backwater Drenchen. Go back to your swamp, hot-headed, violent Gelfling. No patience. How do you lead the Gelfling without patience? We'll drown all the Gelfling. Doom, doom.
No.
How dare. And, so, this is where things get fun. I need you to roll another. Remember the tree attack? The screaming tree?
I do.
You need to make something is rolling clever and social graces to get into your brain.
Uh-oh. I will defend with, I guess, the same. Clever and social graces. That's 2d8 for me. Oh, I rolled like trash.
Well, so did
that's
Augra, so what have you got?
That's a 5. I think that I am absolutely going to tag my discipline. When in doubt, brute force it.
Okay. So you re-roll one of your dice.
Yep, I'm going to. They're both d8s, so I will re-roll the 2, and I rolled a 7. So that takes it to 10 for me. And I think I will stay at 10.
Well, Augra rolled, or whoever this is, rolled 12.
Damn
So
it.
you are going to take a mild condition. Oh, it's on the screen, Augra. Look at the screen. You take the mild condition insecure.
Okay.
Because what if you are not the All Maudra people need? Augra said danger is coming. But how do you stab a star? How do you stab the suns?
Miston?
Miston, you can't hear Vevra. Vevra, you call out to Miston, you don't see her nearby.
Miston?
Getting to Miston, Miston, you are also hearing sounds in the cavern that your companions cannot hear. But for you, it is a combination of voices and the grotton, or the caveling taps on the wall that you use to communicate with each other. At first you think it's just, well, cave noises, but no, this is the language of your people, or one of them. And it's like, don't trust the cavelings. Mist is up to no good again. Mist questions will lead to disaster. Nosy, invasive, too many questions, too many secrets. No good. And I need Miston to also make me a roll of psychic defense.
I will try to hide my mind from whatever this is attacking me. Actually, no, I will respond. I am not You can totally trust me. I am nice. I am happy. The cavelings are not the way you think we are. Yes, we are everywhere because we want to know things and we want to preserve things. We don't want to pry into things or hurt people. That's not what we're doing. We certainly don't send spies out to spy on other clans. That would be wrong. I'm using sneaky and social graces.
Okay, roll it.
Are you saying this out loud?
Yes,
In my
but you
mind.
can't hear them.
Yes. As a 9, I do in fact have one more point of one more faith die, which I will spend to 0. So I now have no of my own faith dice left. Fortunately, we have a common pool, but nobody has spent it yet. So that'll get me to a 14.
All right. Something rolled a 17.
Oh,
So you now have a mild condition.
I will actually get my faith die back because I did roll a 1 that I re-rolled, and you can have a darkness die.
Okay. But there's still a 17 against your 14, so...
There is, so I think I may take the consequence of this.
So you take the mild... again, it's on the screen. You take the mild condition doubtful.
Sure.
Because, well, what if you are a spy?
Well,
Or rather, what if everyone
I
knows you are? What if Evra's just keeping you here not because you're friends or because she trusts you, but because she doesn't? Better to have you here with her and not telling her secrets and strategies to other potential All Maudras.
What if I'm hurting people by spying on them, rather than just helping in the sneaky way?
But what if by helping the sneaky way you are hurting them? Oh no. So Vevra, getting back to Vevra, you heard none of that.
Yep.
So life in Sog is a life of community and comfort, but also danger. Your death could live in the next puddle, hidden just under the mud. You cannot see the person, creature, that is taunting you thus, but you hear the voices and you realize it's just coming from something in front of you? No, it's out of the corner of your eye. But no, it's in front of you because you just looked to the side and now it's up there.
I think I'm going to close my eyes.
With your keen survival senses, before you do that, you could swear you see something squat and muddied. But then you look at it closer, and it was never there, except for a wet spot on the wall it was leaning against.
Aha! I have a wet spot. No.
Hashtag phrasing.
Hashtag phrasing.
Phrasing. Forbidden cupcake.
You can now hear a strange ringing in your ears on top of everything else. And you get a sense from the marks of how to pursue this creature. Do you follow them? Do you go to give them what for?
If your ears are ringing, you should probably answer them.
I think that, Vevra's very torn. Like, on one hand, yes, she wants to go and make them stop saying these things. On the other hand,
you're insecure and you need to prove yourself to this thing that is saying nasty things about you.
I do. At the same time, am I
Because you are tetchy.
I am tetchy. No, you're right. I accept my tetchiness. I go out after the insulting creature.
So before you get a sense of that, so Mist, you're a caveling. You were raised in the caverns and underground villages inside Thra itself. You are no stranger to shadows. You spent many trine with them. You are not afraid of the dark. But this shadow taunting you is darker than any cave you've ever been in. And it's cold somehow, despite the parching heat of the caves. You feel its cold dampness right next to you before you see it out of the corner of your eye. But looking straight at it, the shadow has disappeared or moved again, just outside of your field of vision, and these nasty, nasty voices continue. telling you your own secrets back to you. You wonder that your companions can't hear it. And now, there's a strange ringing in your ears on top of everything else. You see where this shadow is flitting outside of your line of vision, gleefully muttering your secrets as they echo around the cave. What do you pursue this creature?
I will, rather
Because
than going
nobody
open,
trusts a Groton, and that's not fair.
it is not fair.
And you are somewhat doubtful about that all of a sudden.
But I am going to try to hide myself mentally from it, so that it stops knowing exactly where I am, because it knows too much, and if I'm going to try to combat this in any way, I need to do so the way I do it, not the way somebody else would do it.
All right. This may not go the way you expect.
I am perfectly happy with that. I am following my nature. So I am attempting to use sneaky plus magic to hide from it.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see how badly this goes. Oh, that's a 10.
All right. So you do your best to control your thoughts.
Think like a rock.
But instead of shielding yourself from the shadow thing, it's almost like it then envelops you. You are now surrounded in shadow, darker than any cave you have ever been in, which you would not think would be possible. You are now stumbling blindly in the dark. Next. Flip. Are you on Riv's shoulders?
Yes.
Okay, you can't hear Riv. You can't hear them walking, you can't hear them breathing, you can't hear that weird little wheeze that comes out of their little nose. You can't hear the sounds of your companions, you can't hear their footfalls. You are in total silence. In a mountain, there should be sounds. There should be sounds on sounds.
Do I feel Riv's ears when I reach down and try and grab them?
You do still feel Riv under you. You do.
Okay.
You're still there, but everything is silent.
I've definitely got Riv by the ears then.
Riv, Flip starts tugging on your ears. So you don't. Maybe the sound of fire, of crumbling stones, or echoing footsteps, but all is silence. Is Plip even here? You know Riv is here, but is Plip here? Is anyone even here with you other than Riv? And then you start hearing a voice out of this silence. Foolish Plip, left his people. Afraid of a hard day's work, afraid of the dark, afraid of everything. Went sailing down the river like a fool, keeps company with creatures that no care or notice of Podlings, and now he is the same. Lost to us, lost to everyone, lost to Thra. Give Augra a psychic defense. How does Plip defend himself against such unpleasantness?
By knowing it's all true, most of it anyway. So we'll go for clever social graces.
Okay.
And we will actually tag my concept, River Love and Podling.
Okay. Walker is missing dice. This is very annoying.
I will re-roll that.
Oh, there's the other. For Thra's sake.
Can Flip draw on the friendship that Flip has with Thra?
Is
Flip
it?
has a lock of Thra's hair from the prompts.
If he rolls high enough, you can, but otherwise,
Alright.
it's not a discipline or an advantage. So
Nope, you're right. Clear says. I'm trying.
Flip has rolled.
what did Flip roll?
22.
Jesus.
Okay, that Flip's fine.
Yeah, Flip's fine.
Not saying anything Flip doesn't already know. Hasn't already faced, already kind of accepted. Flip does not like the darkness, but Flip responds to this by putting both arms around Riv's face.
Riv, a
nose,
podling has
essentially.
now caught track of your face. So, Flip, you see this small, quick creature of shadow just ahead of you in the tunnel, like almost like a little bunny rabbit. It stops if it's waiting for you to catch up, or, well, Riv to catch up, and then it shoots off at a run. You feel a connection to this creature, even though you can't hear it, smell it, and can barely see it for its swift speed. You need it. It is part of you. But at this pace, you will lose this, and this... It scares you a bit, but not as much as it would have if you hadn't won your roll. So...
Riv.
But there's some part of the back of your mind saying if you lose it, you could lose everything.
But the thing is, Riv already gave up everything. Riv's on the river, not in a Podling village. Riv is not afraid of losing things. Riv has already lost a lot. Riv's already given up a lot. Not Riv. Flip.
Right.
Flip has given up a lot. Sorry. Keep using the wrong name.
Flip, you hear a strange ringing in your ears on top of this weird thing. So you do not pursue the small, quick, shadowy little creature?
Flip will blow a raspberry at it. One final goodbye.
Alright, you still... it's still sticking around and taunting you. It's just... And the voices continue, but you're very comfortable on top of your Gruenack friend. Hashtag phrasing. Riv. So...
Riv, you've got Podling arms wrapped around your face, just under your nose.
So, Riv, you can hear the sound of flame, the sound of smoke, the echo of footsteps against rough stone. All of your companions go from uncomfortable to miserable, and then they all start, like, staring at things in the cave that you can't see. And, like, even Plip starts, and that's about, first Vevra, then Mistin, and then Plip just starts, like, fussing with your face and your ears, and it's a little weird, and... Vevra looks like she's seen something, and she's gonna take off in a sprint. Mistin is stumbling about almost as if blind, which is a little weird for a caveling, because, well, they can see in the dark quite well. Riv, you hear a strange ringing in your ears.
Flip has become your helmet because Flip is afraid of the dark.
Well, it's not really that dark for Plip, just that little dark creature that you keep seeing dodging around. But Riv, you hear a strange ringing in your ears, separate to the sounds of what you would expect from an active hot mountain. But somehow woven through and around the other sounds, it's some kind of song, but you can't quite make out a melody. It might be the crystal. You wonder, is this the song of Thra in its purest true form? And no sooner did you think that Mistin and Vevra dodges down one side tunnel, and Mistin stumbles into another one. And Plip is just absolutely attached to your head and won't let go. So, Riv, I know this isn't your best stat, but could you roll clever and knowledge lore?
Sure, I can try. Clever, knowledge lore, and I'm gonna tag my discipline quid pro quo. Let's help each other.
Mm-hmm.
So that means I'm rolling one of my faith dice, right?
Yes.
Okay. So clever's an 8. Knowledge is a 4.
And this is not a contested roll. You just have to hit 10 or 15.
And let's help each other is a d6. Let's
Alright.
see if I can do that. I hit a 9.
Would you like to roll some darkness dice?
I think I would like to roll a darkness die, yes.
Fantastic.
And I rolled a 1 on it.
Okay, well, we'll get to that. You can roll up to 3 darkness dice.
Well, that got me to a 10.
So that did get you to a 10. So,
yeah.
And into hot water.
it's better if you get a 15.
Oh, what the hell? I'll roll 2 more darkness dice.
Oh,
Why not?
Rev
one
is
at
my
a time?
favorite.
One at a time? Is
One
that
at
how
a
it
time.
works?
Yeah, you can roll
In
them
that
one at a
case,
time,
I'm
yes.
going to stop at 2 because I got a 6 on the first one I rolled.
Oh,
So that
that's
gives me a 16. But
There
that
you
one is
go.
still there on the first darkness die.
so you're thinking about it, and at least trying to, while Plip is not strangling you, but just like covering your eyes and your ears, and it's very annoying and being Plip. But Plip's usually Plip runs away when panicked, so this time he's just attached himself to your face, like, a face hugger, which I'm sure is a thing that happens on Thra for different
Sure,
reasons.
that's happened to me before.
So with a 10, it's, maybe the smoke and fumes trapped with you in this very enclosed environment are bad for the other races of Thra. Maybe that's why only Gruenacks and their cousin race, the Macrax, live in active volcanoes. And then the 15, you actually see Gruenack runes. Well, you think you can see them through, Plip's hands. You see Gruenack runes carved into some parts of the tunnel a little bit further up, which echo what you just realized. In a snarky way, it's like, oh, Gelfling. Want to rule all the other Gelfling, can't even walk through a volcano in one piece. What the heck? Snarky Gruenacks.
We're supposed to help each other in Thra.
Maybe, but you don't have to be happy about it.
Riv, you get an extra faith die for realizing you're uniquely situated in this environment, and suddenly you're of a lot more importance to getting this party through the quest. Unfortunately, with that one,
They split up into 2 different tunnels. I can't split myself up.
not only that, but they are moving so quick. Mistin you don't take any damage because that's just kind of mean. Sort of fell off a ledge, and Vevra was moving so quickly you have no idea where she is now. So you could try to find them.
I had the faintest idea of how I might, but
There's also the possibility that in situations like this, and you did get a 16, it's possible that all roads lead to the crystal.
Some roads are safer than others.
and
Some roads
even
safer than
if
others.
I don't, if I get to the crystal, maybe I can do something about the smoke, which is what's making them act
Yes,
so weird.
the crystal is known for its healing powers, so possibly.
I have to try.
So yes. So Plip, are you even looking at what's around you at this point?
I'm avoiding the dark spots, but Flip's still looking around. Flip is still hanging on to Riv because Riv is basically the last one standing, and Flip's not about to let go. But Flip is looking.
So So yeah, Riv is trying to just keep going. Vevra and Mistin are gone, but you kind of lost track of them already when you started hallucinating. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna say Mistin and Vevra. Because of the nature of the beast, you now have the moderate condition hallucinating.
Okay.
Sure.
Because volcanoes are bad for Gelfling. Hobbits are a whole nother species.
I thought this wasn't a volcano.
Semi-volcano. A volcano.
It wasn't an active volcano?
It's a
Seismologically
no.
active.
Is it a volcano? Yes.
It is for Riv. Yeah, Riv, basically, it's possible that all tunnels lead to the crystal, or just if you can get there first, then you can track back and make a more methodical map of these ridiculous caves.
I mean, at this point, if either of the other two were within my reach, I'd go after them, but they're not. The only logical thing to do is go ahead and hope for the best.
Indeed. I wonder why they call it the Heart Quest. Okay, we've got a little bit more to go, if we don't mind going till 10:30. We did start a bit late.
I'm good.
All right.
Good. I'm also an hour behind you guys, so I'm like, we're going to 10:30. We're way over for me.
All right. So, Plip, you are doing your best to just ignore everything and just stick your face in the back of your friend's head.
If Riv is sufficiently persistent with the tugging, I will move my hands away from their eyes.
Oh, okay. So you're just strangling them. Okay.
A little bit.
So Riv is still methodically walking down the cave, looking around more carefully in case there is any. Well, Plip, you don't know why they're looking. Riv, you're probably looking for your companions. You see what looks like it looks like there's a cave entrance that's actually another one of those cliffs. And you see just the fingers of two little hands kind of holding on to the edge there.
Does that mean somebody's like dangling over the side? I'm gonna have to try
Yes,
and
but
help them
Riv,
out.
you can't see this. Because you
I'm
are
sorry.
not hallucinating. And Plip is
I'm
only
sorry.
a little bit.
I thought that was me who's seeing. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, it's Plip. I'm sorry. I might have said Riv. When they say Gelfling are closest to my heart, it's really just all the other races look the same. No, that's mean. Even Algr wouldn't say that. Alright, so Plip, you see two little hands grasping this edge.
Tompi? Tompi?
And it looks like beyond this edge is something fiery down at the bottom. Riv, you see none of this. But you can see it as Riv lumbers past.
Riv.
You can hear Plip.
Riv.
Plip, what's wrong? Plip, you're hallucinating. It's the smoke. You're seeing things.
But Tompi.
What?
Cliff, small hand. Somebody hanging.
Where?
There.
I will look and see if I see what Flip sees.
You see a cliff. You do not see the little dark hand. You do not see the flaminess. You just see, oh, this looks like another one like what Mist fell into, which was I'm sorry, I forgot to Algra. It looks like the kind of thing that Mist fell into, where it's sort of a lip and then it goes down, but you don't see a hand.
I will call down just on the off chance Mist is down there. Hello?
Your own voice echoes back at you. Plip, it echoes in Podling and say, please help me. Please help me, I'm Podling. Help.
What is Podling doing down the hole?
I am scared, Podling.
I will stand up and start moving back towards the crystal and say to Plip, is no one down there?
Plip, you are quite sure there's someone there.
What is Podling doing down a hole?
Well, I mean, it's Podling. Just what is it doing down that hole?
It's
No, what is Podling doing
smoke.
down the hole?
You
No
are
grow
breathing
here,
the
only
smoke.
hole.
You are breathing smoke. You are hearing noises. A strange mountain.
Like screaming tree?
Like
No,
screaming
that was
tree only you
real.
can hear.
Oh, mountain trying to trick Plip. Mountain is... Plip does not like mountain.
Mountain may not be trying to trick, but Mountain is tricking Flip, yes.
Mountain will not trick Plip. Plip will not listen.
Good.
Plip is still trying to strangle you because they're holding on so tight.
Then it probably comes out as good. Now my eyes are watering and I'm not even inside a mountain.
Oh, Augur knows how that feels right now. Augur needs
yeah.
to shave. Oh, goodness. All right. Mist. You stumbled into a tunnel. You did not take any damage because that would be mean, but you are in darkness now. Well, no, not darkness. You can, well, except that you tried to hide yourself and now you are trapped in your own shadow.
Yep.
As far as you could maybe think, or something, you're not sure. You just know that you are in a cave. You do not sense anyone around you. But still, those whispering voices.
All right, fine. I say yes. I know that I'm a spy, and I try to keep people from finding out because I'm exactly what they fear. I'm the caveling that spies on them and tries to find out all their secrets. But if they find out, then they find out. Because I'm also keeping them safe, and I'm keeping us safe. The only reason I do this is because it's what I'm good at. And because they expected it of us anyway. And if that's what I have to be, then it is.
All right. And you hear the voices, is that who you are?
Not just that. I study with people and I study animals and I try to do what's best for them. That's who I am.
All right. Olga thinks we can roll this over again now. Back up. All right. All right. Roll me again against that psychic attack.
Sure.
Actually, no. Make it a knowledge roll.
Sure. So this is going to be knowledge plus careful, I think. Because it's about taking care of other people. However, I rolled a 6. These dice really don't want me to succeed at this.
Oh, goodness. Well, so the good news is the voices stop. The bad news is you still can't see anything.
Yeah.
And you are stumbling around blind in the dark, and because something else rolled a 13, so... But I won't make you take any more conditions, because that's mean. Or, well, too mean for Olga. Meanwhile, Vevra, you have cornered this strange humanoid, muddy, squat figure just facing off against you with some kind of spear now. And it turns around and is at the far end of this, this tunnel continues, and it is still lit by the tendrils of crystal. But it is now facing you with a spear and is not letting you go any further down this tunnel.
Why would you say things like that about me?
Because they're true.
I'm not claiming to be perfect. I've never said I'm perfect. But to be All Maudra, you need to have people around you who you listen to and who you take advice from. And yes, I'm a little short-tempered. And yes, I have my flaws. But that's why I have friends. That's why I have Flip and Miston and Riv. They help keep me grounded. I know who I am because they see me too. And I can be who I am because they help me be the best.
Well, they're not here now. So what are you going to do?
I'm going to walk past you because you're not worth my time. And I will tag the concept proud Drenchen princess.
Okay, as you try to walk past, this thing does try to attack you.
All right.
And it suddenly is kind of solid.
All right.
Uh-oh. Or maybe not, we'll see. The mind makes it real. Alright, so... I keep forgetting to be Algra. I did not sleep well last night. Okay.
Can I be clever enough to anticipate their blows?
Sure, if Gelfling is trying to walk past thing, then yes, you can, yeah, clever it. That's fine. What the hell, guys?
All right, that's a D8 and a D10. That is a 6 and that is a 5. So that's 11. So if I'm tagging my concept, I can spend a faith die to add a D6.
No, you can spend a faith die to re-roll one dice in your pool.
Gotcha.
Or re-roll your approach or your skill.
Adding the d6 happens if you tag it before you roll.
Yeah, yes.
Got it. Mistakes were made. Let's talk about darkness dice.
Oh yes, let's talk about you can roll them one at a time. And you can roll up to 3 of them.
I am currently at an 11. I am going to roll a darkness die. For a 6. That is a 16, and I will stand.
It rolled an 18.
God damn it!
So, take a mild condition, of cut.
Of what?
Cut. C-U-T. Because
Cut.
it cut you with its spear.
Okay.
And now you are bleeding, Gelfling.
Yep. I am insecure, cut, and hallucinating. So, any Saturday night, really.
It is going to try and attack you again. Do you try to run away again?
No, I will defend this time.
Okay.
That will be forceful and combat. 2 D10s. It's a 7 and a 9. 16.
Oof. It rolled a 19. What did you roll?
A 6.
Alright, so that's... You are very evenly matched with this mud thing. So you take another mild conditioned. Oh, so... Right now you're insecure, cut, and... I mean, bleeding? Let's just say bleeding.
All right.
Algra's running out of words.
Good times.
So, and you're moderately hallucinating.
Yep.
Or mediumly hallucinating. Why did I write the sheets this way? Oh, Algra. Anyway. Alright. And it is going to try and attack you again.
Okay, I will continue to defend. I am going to spend one of my fake dice.
And then you can roll that d6 with the rest of your dice.
Yep.
What aspect are you invoking?
I am tagging when in doubt, brute force it. So that is a 10, that is a 4, and that is a 4. So 18.
It rolled a 22.
I know where the darkness dice are going.
You see nothing. It's under the camera. So since you are full up on mild conditions,
Yep.
this makes it a moderate. Let's say bloodied again.
All right.
And it's looking like it's looking like, you know, you did your, it's gonna attack you again. What do you do?
Same thing, defend.
Okay.
Vedra is not used to something being as good with a spear as she is. Holy crap. I rolled 2 10s, and I should have rolled a fake die, but I didn't say it, so I didn't do it. I rolled a 20.
Well, that's good, because this one only rolled an 11. So it misses.
Good times. Yeah, so I think that Vedra spins her trident out of the block and brings it down to attempt to stab this thing.
Mm-hmm.
I will spend my final personal fake die. That's a 10, that is a 4, and that is a 3. 17.
Awesome. It only rolled a 10.
Yay!
So you have very deftly just, how do you stab it? Where do you stab it?
So I think that she like I said, she blocks their spear with the haft of her trident, and then she spins it around in a looping arc and brings it down, attempting to stab through the head.
Ooh. Well, you do so. And we'll pause this scene for a moment. Well, actually, so at the same time that Vevra stabs her assailant in the head, Mistin is still trying to find her way out of the shadows. And where did Flip go? Oh dear. Well, is Merc okay?
Merc
Merc's
said,
just in the bathroom.
Oh,
yeah, Merc said that we
Bio.
were
all right. Augur will not worry about it. Augur's misplaced her notes. All right. So Mistin, at the same time, you are in darkness, and it's as if someone took their hands off of your eyes And you see in front of you, and Fevra, you stab this creature in the face, at which point the mud starts to drip away from its from its own face, from the blood that is rushing out of all of its head wounds. And you are both faced with some strange, twisted version of yourselves. Of a shadowy Mistin and a muddy, entrenched Vevra. You both get the strange sensation, the sense that you've won,
Good time.
but you are still both tripping balls.
Yep.
So you both continue to stagger as the heat of this place. Mistin, it's more the confusion of the shadows. Even though your shadow self took her hands off your eyes, which, how polite of her.
Thank you.
Vevra, you are suffering from blood loss and, semi-volcano fumes.
Nope.
And you are just not sure where the hell you are.
I am limping forward while tripping balls.
Mm-hmm.
Come along with me. It's not safe here.
You still don't know where anyone else is.
No, I do not. But I am hallucinating, and this is another person who happens to look exactly like me.
At which point, the perfect point for Thra to gift you with a vision.
All right.
Everyone hears a cheerful humming sound, not the crystal, but perhaps some kind of repulsive, part bird, part reptile, part latex.
A duck.
A duck. It seems to be beaked, feathered, and scaled with some kind of scar tissue growing in patches on its face.
I don't know what that thing is. It looks utterly trustworthy.
I was born under a shattered sky. Am born, will be born. Time and trine so hard to chain down, Gelfling. The crystal stang for 3 made 1, and 1 becomes 2. Delightful, and Thra is ours for the taking. You both see this creature. It seems very pleased with itself. Actually, Riv and Plip also see it. And then you see flames consume all of Thra, spreading from Sog to Claw, from sea to shining sea. Trees and towers and castles falling to pieces, each unable to stand alone against the flames. But these flames are not red, orange, or gold. They are bright, unnatural violet. Something turns in your field of vision, and you see a new angle on all of the carnage and horror. Will Gelfling join us? Is great power for Gelfling.
No, Gelfling should join with other Gelfling. We do not need destruction. We do not need rulers from wherever you came from.
All we need is guidance and wisdom from Thra and from our mothers. Not whatever you are.
So, Gelfling, you see many different versions of these violet flames. Sometimes it's flames, sometimes it's water, sometimes it's like an infectious rot, snaking through the ground itself, poisoning trees and rivers, pod gourds, other shelters crumble from the bottom up. Gelfling themselves just not dissolving, but it's like if someone had sucked all of the water out of them and they just dried and shriveled in front of you. It is rather horrific.
I think Bevra just has tears streaming down her face and she doesn't know why and she doesn't really know what's happening. But while she's having the vision, she's just weeping.
It is absolutely horrific. Riv, you and Plip also see this, but while Plip is not exactly in their right mind, what you see is that, because you got here first, this is coming from the crystal. And when it turns on its shaft of air, you see a new facet of the disaster, as it just spins out of control across all of Thra. You even see it consuming the Macrax, who are used to a very different kind of flame.
But it's not doing that now. It's what I, or is it?
You managed to get to the crystal a little bit before Mistin and Vevra kind of stumbled in looking wide-eyed and freaked out, and much worse than Plip, but probably a similar problem. And now they are just standing transfixed, open-mouthed, staring at the crystal, and you can all see these visions, but you can see them for what they are. They are being projected by the crystal. You have no idea what Vevra and Mistin think are happening, because they are nonsensical.
I don't understand, I say to the crystal, since clearly the crystal is as much Thra as any of us, more probably. What can we do to help? To stop it?
The crystal has no answers. It can only show you what is, or what will be.
What will be or what may be?
Meanwhile, Riv, you are the only one who notices that this chamber where the crystal sits over a shaft of air and fire is littered with smaller crystals, which are the cast-offs of the Heart of Thra that Vevra has to collect one to prove that she performed the heart quest and succeeded to become the All Maudra. But Vevra is staring open-mouthed, sobbing with tears, well, maybe not sobbing, but tears streaming, staring at the crystal and all the horrors it is trying to warn you of.
I go over and try and, push her down so that I can take her arm and put it on her hand on one of the shards.
Vevra, someone is trying to make your hand go down?
Do I recognize their touch?
You are so overwhelmed by visions that you kind of can't.
Okay.
It doesn't seem to be trying to hurt you, but Riv, you might have to make some other kind of roll or action to maybe
Right.
Like you got from your lore check before, the crystal does have healing properties. You think.
So
You don't know how they work, but
I don't know how they work, but I can try magic and probably careful because I don't want to make this worse. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes sense.
So I don't know if it's the fact that the crystal is showing us this thing, that's not the problem. That's the crystal doing what the crystal does. It's the fumes that are the problem. Maybe.
No, you can see what's coming off the crystal. These visions, these moving scenes come directly from the crystal of truth. These are real. These are truth.
Right, that's not what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the crystal's doing.
Right.
But they're also dealing with these fumes that are just not bothering me. So maybe if I can try and disperse the fumes a little, just so that Vever is only dealing with truth, not truth and feelings.
All right. So what do you do?
I'm going to. I'm gonna take the swamp flowers I've got around my neck and sort of like rub them under Vever's nose. Maybe that'll help bring her back to herself. The smell of something familiar.
All right. And what do you want to roll?
Okay, I think that would be clever, not careful. I have no idea what skill that falls into.
You could use magic. Gruenacks have their own magic, at least in this era.
Then I'll try that.
It's not just a Gelfling privilege.
So that's 2d8s, and I've still got 2 faith dice, so I will use one. It's still got to be quid pro quo because I'm trying to help, and that's
fine.
what we're supposed to do.
You can use it as many times as you want, just not twice on the same roll.
So that's 18.
Fantastic. That is a succeed with style.
Woo!
So, in the books and a little bit in the series, Gelfling magic is blue and glowy. Gruenack magic is red and glowy. So, as Riv is kind of... So you're trying to kind of press these flowers against Vever's face?
Yeah. Basically trying to bring her back to herself. I'm not trying to block the visions because that's not a hallucination. I'm trying to remind her that she's from the swamp, that she has the strength of the swamp, and the air in this place is not very good for her. Maybe this will at least give her breathing space, literally.
Aww. Gruenack is so sweet. So yes, you do that, and Gruenack magic is typically about building, infusing items, but you sort of feel the magic of your people kind of course through your fingers, and it kind of nebulizes the flowers like they're incense. So it is a bit of orange flame as you see some of the patterns of the runes of your people's magic kind of sketch themselves onto these flower petals. And then they sort of steam and smoke, but it is a kinder smoke. It is a gentler, sweeter smelling smoke, like an incense. And an 18 is certainly enough to get rid of moderately hallucinating, and which one of let's say it gets rid of mild insecure, because I don't know that's going to help with all the flesh wounds.
Yeah,
But it's the smell of home.
So Vevra, you are bloodied and tore up, but you awaken and are yourself again, and you see Riv, and you see Mistin having some kind of trip, and Plip is probably still just clinging to Riv's shoulders around his neck like a hat or a scarf, a very, very tenacious scarf. And it's like in the midst of all of this horror, you suddenly remembered like the smell of the swamp and the Smurth in spring and the smell of all those lovely cloying, rotting flowers, that sweet Ferenginar smell of all the rotting vegetation.
beautiful.
I do love Ferengi. Anyway, and
I
you are
think-
awake. And you are...
Barbara steps forward and just hugs Riv. Just a tight hug of thankfulness.
Riv
And,
will, Flip will spare one arm from Riv's face to pat Vever on the head.
Good
fabulous.
Gelfling.
Riv will try and use an arm to pull Mistrin into the hug, kind of clumsily.
Mistrin, someone is grabbing you again. And it's not a shadow. You are trying to stare at the horrors of some future time. Maybe, or a past time, you're not sure. You have a lot of research to do if you ever stop hallucinating.
Okay, so you're hugging me?
Trying to pull you into a hug. What you're thinking I'm doing, I don't know.
Flip
Thanks, Gruenack.
said when they get close enough.
Okay. I am trying to figure out that that if I am being shown truth of the future, I must be staring at the crystal of truth.
I will allow that as a... What's your sheet? You know what? It being you, I will allow you to combat this if you want to... Now that you've technically passed the heart trial, do you want to try to do an action, repair action on yourself using knowledge and lore?
Sure. Careful, probably.
Careful is a good thing for healing.
Yeah.
Oh wait, you've also got a magic of 6.
I do have magic skills.
So, you could also magic. Gelfling have magic.
It's true.
It's called something very long with a V that Algra has trouble pronouncing. Vlyaya? It's a wonderful word, but Algra is bad at words today.
Bill, yeah, I think.
Is the difficulty easier if I use magic, given the difference is like 2 dice?
No, but you know.
Yeah.
We're at the end of the game. If you've got faith dice left, use them.
Yeah. I do have a faith die left. So sure. Because waste not, want not.
You've also still got 2d6 on bubbling spring and 2d6 on wet towels. Goodness.
It's
Oh,
true.
that's true.
They just didn't.
Definitely
God, the
helped
wet
pulling me out
towel
of that.
still had dice
Yes,
attached
they
to
both
them.
do. So
Sorry,
sure.
Algra forgot.
Yeah, no, we didn't.
Although-
We forgot
We
to,
did
and
too,
we're the
we
ones
did
who
too.
created them.
They-
This is why it's good to actually have physical problems.
They did help with the dehydration, which made other things less awful for you.
Yep.
Yes.
Trust Algra when she says this. But
Oh,
they
yeah,
did
that's
not guard you from fumes.
But they could have.
That's reasonable.
Okay. So sure, I will spend one of the dice on that. And sure, I will actually spend, just as thematic, I will use magic and careful and one of my aspects and one of the free tactics.
And this is just a straight roll, not contested.
Yep. And that is a 16.
All right, so you can also get rid of moderately hallucinating and mild doubtful.
Yep.
All right. I think
And you are awake. Like, what does it look
That's
like, Mistin, when Mistin cures herself of inhalation distress? Is that the... Algar does not know.
So she hugged, and suddenly she pulls her hand up and starts breathing through the towels that drift up over her eyes for some reason, and starts breathing very quickly, and we need.
And you use magic,
true.
so the wet cloth starts glowing with blue sigils
Oh, that's true.
out of
It does.
Mistin's fingers. Because Gelfling magic is blue.
We're going to need. That's true. What the crystal showed us.
It's still
That's going
showing
to
you.
yeah.
Can't stop it. We're going to need to make caches, to bury information, to bury people if we can, so they can be reborn. Because that disaster can't be stopped; it can only be survived.
Mistin, you are right. I think the question we have now, and Bevra stoops down and picks up one of the shards and looks at the other 3 and says, if I take this back to Agra and I take on the All Maudra, will you 3 agree to act as advisors? To
Of
be
course I will.
part so that we can try and we can't stop this, but maybe we can lessen it. Maybe we can find a way to make it so that whoever does have to go through the awfulness has something to support them.
Make
And something
clever
to come back
caches.
to. You
Make
can't
hiding places.
You can't
And-
stop fate. You can't build a wall in front of fate. You can only trick it.
Flip thinks that perhaps Agra would be the best person. Agra has always been, Flip believes. So if Agra will always be. Also, Agra knows. Agra was complaining loudly about the Gruenack device that Agra did not get. So
So we'll have to make sure that we find a way to get Augur the device and information stored away for those who need it to find.
And maybe people. That
Well,
this is why Vevra should be
we'll
All
get into
Maudra.
that
yes,
when
so
we're
we can
out
do the
of
work.
the poisonous content.
Vevra is clever. This is why Vevra should be All Maudra.
Says the Podling, who isn't even a Gelfling. All Maudra technically doesn't.
Clip's not sure what All Maudra does or why, but Vevra wants it, so Clip's supportive.
That's true.
People. I don't want to be speaking to crowds of people, so Deborah should be all Maudra.
All right, let's get out of the poisonous mountain.
So as you move away from the crystal, trying to figure out, oh, do we go back up this path?
I think we all tucked our hands in each other's belts.
Yes, that's fair.
Clip is still on Riv's shoulders.
Yep.
Clip is no longer trying to strangle Riv, but Clip's still there.
It's still like Vevra, you hope you never have to come back here ever again. Like, this is horrible. You just see Vevra, like, she just gets paler and paler. She's almost as pale as Mistin. All that vibrant green, that rich. So fun fact, when a Drenchen is in water, or when a Sogling is in water, they get brighter green. So this is the opposite. She's just so pale, she could be Mistin. And it's just, whoa, what? But yes, you have, as you pick up this, the shard, and you've kind of got it in hand, it gives off a kind of almost you'd call it a vibration? Or at least you can feel it because it's in your hand. And you think it is, helping with the vapors.
Good to know.
So the walk back up is far less punishing than the walk down.
I hold hands with Mistin with the hand that has the crystal in it in hopes that it will benefit Mistin on the way back up too.
Yep, it definitely does. And, Riv is still fine, and Plip is just hanging on to Riv, and everything's fine. So.
Yep.
And I think that is where we will end it tonight, because we've gone a full hour over. So, Algra is sorry.
Yeah, you were going. It's only gonna be. It's gonna be 15 minutes more. And I was going. Well, I'm not gonna slow things down by saying, no, it's gonna be not gonna be long.
Yeah, someday Algra will learn how to write a 3-hour game.
I've never learned how to.
A 3-hour game is what fits in a 4-hour slot. There's no way around that.
Because, when it's Demon Hunters, first Algra has to teach people how to play Demon Hunters, and then we actually get to play. So it's a 2-hour adventure. Algra, one day Algra will learn. Today is not that day. But thank you, chatlings, for coming along with us on this trip to Thra in the Age of Innocence, which happened long before all of that nonsense. It is at least 2,000 years before the event of a certain movie, whatever that is. But could be even further back in time if we want to revisit this world. After Algra has read more of the books, and there are so many books. Because Dark Crystal is Lisa Henson's favorite Henson property, and Lisa Henson is in charge of publishing. And Algra is happy for this. And as I said earlier, this is not canon. This is... Now my phone is shush phone. Algra is busy. Phone. Anyway, so thank you for joining us. Thank you those of you who could donate to charity. If this is not a good week for that, please keep the link and donate to them later. RIP Medical Debt is very good charity. Very, very good, very clever charity. Very, very missed in, very sneaky, very use the system against itself to help others. Oh, Matt Vansel approved. That's nice. Is Faithcore?
Thank you.
Okay. Hello,
Thank you so
Faithcore.
much for inviting me to come play with you. I had a wonderful time.
Oh yes, thank you for gaming with us. You are welcome back. I mean, you're on the Discord, so you're basically now in our extended network of gamers who are not afraid to be on webcam.
Absolutely.
Algra thanks you for your time. Algra knows you are not feeling well, and Algra cannot heal through camera.
Cursive.
Curse this modern age.
Good night, everyone. It was so much fun playing with all of you. I hope to do so again.
All right, so in that case, Algra was going to say, this is not the official Dark Crystal game. That's not out yet. So we just used Faithcore and Chrysala's Algra's encyclopedic knowledge, because that's what we do here. We are nerds. So yes, I am the GM Mother Algra, and that's me. So Vevra, who are you? And are there any other places on the internet we can see you do things, or not? Or is there something else you want to promote?
I absolutely would. I, as well as a role player, am also a potter. And I am currently putting together a site for my studio, Five Goblins Pottery. And I will throw up links to Magic Fish when I've got it fully up and running.
Very nice. Will you be streaming pottery?
I might. I've considered taking a webcam down into my studio and just doing some streams of me throwing and talking to people.
Let us know. We'll put it on our Twitter that all of 5 people read, but you know, it'll be there. It's good for the algorithm, yes? Okay.
Absolutely.
All right, Clip, who are you when you are not a podling? And do you have anything to signal boost?
I'm Merc. I don't do much myself, but on Mondays and Wednesdays, I mod for Zombie Orpheus, another Twitch channel. They play tabletop RPGs, and they do it pretty well. They have the Reliables on Mondays, which is a Savage Worlds thing, and then on Wednesdays is Void Jumpers, which is Monster of the Week. Based, heavily modified.
Ish.
Using that system anyway. Yeah, that's me.
Wonderful. And all right, let's go. Riv, who are you when you are not a Gruenack, who is not extinct because it's the Age of Innocence?
When I'm not a non-extinct Gruenack, I'm Lisa Paddle. I do editing for Golden Goblin, Stiggy and Fox, and anyone who needs a freelance RPG editor. I'm better with words when I'm typing.
So is Algra. Fantastic. And Mistin, who are you when you are not sneaky Gelfling?
When I'm not sneaky Gelfling, I'm Josh or Joshua Kronengold or Neme or Nemex. And Lisa and I are going to be performing for half an hour at Balticon next Friday.
We need a set list.
Yes, so once we figured out what we're performing and practiced it a little bit. But we will have a half-hour concert on Friday evening. And if you want to tune in for that, Balticon is free this year and also online.
And it has panels, and we are on some of them, and so are a lot of other awesome people.
Yes. Not all of them in this country.
Send Algra links for your shows so that we can signal boost, yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And chat, again, if you want to know how the Age of Innocence actually ended, but who knows? We seem to be going off on our own lore thing. Who knows? Read Dark Crystal Creation Myths, which is backwards because it's Zoom, sorry. and you will see what actually happened, and who actually gave Aughra her giant heavens calculating machine, and it's very interesting. Or there's also the world of the Dark Crystal, but that's a bit harder to read because it's enormous and not a comic book. But yes, it's huge. Aughra also has that. It's fantastic. And yeah, scream loud as you want for Dark Crystal Season 2. Maybe someday we will get it. Comic books are nice, but the original format is always kind of the best. And creepy puppets are awesome. So yes, again, chat, thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you for helping celebrate Aughra's birthday this week by coming along with her ridiculous stream idea. And thank you, players, for putting up with my ridiculous stream idea and hopefully not too heavy-handed a plot full of exploding mushrooms and screaming trees. All right, well, good night, chat, and we will be back next week for some other kind of role-playing game with a lot less makeup, maybe. So, oh wait, we raid. We must raid. Who do we raid? Aughra is not on the right Twitch account.
Dave James Games is playing. We can raid him.
All right. Is it all just one word?
Yeah. Let me get you the. I can also do the raid command if you want me
Oh
to.
yes, do the raid command.
All right. So that's where we're headed.
Oh, Gabe James Games. I thought you said Dave. Yes, Aughra would have written the wrong raid command. Aughra can't hear things.
I guess I can't raid.
Oh,
sorry.
Yes, some Twitch streamers have a lot of problems, and thus they don't allow raids anymore. And
No. I don't have permission to perform that action.
oh, all right, then then Aughra will do it. That's fine.
Sorry, that's
No
It's-
problem.
on Zoe. The mods have the power to do that, but on this one I don't. So.
Oh, well, Aughra needs to fix that for later. All right, at least you gave me the correct spelling, which Aughra did not have. All right. So, chatlings, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and donate to charity if you can. If not, that's fine. We are all just trying to survive a real-world apocalypse right now, and I hope Aughra was able to distract you for a few peaceful hours. So, bye!
Bye.